It's the Orioles Unmasked, and we welcome you to Birdland as the folks begin the holiday weekend. Coming in to see the Yankees and the Orioles in the first of this three-game set. Hi, everybody. Around Major League Baseball, it is Childhood Cancer Awareness Day. That is the reason for the yellow ribbon. We'll talk more about that during the game. For the Orioles, it's about getting people back. It may be even as important or more important than the people that they've added to the roster. They have missed some of their stars of late. They'll get one of them back tonight. His name, Adam Jones. Let's take a look. Adam, of course, has been out for 5 games. It was a left hamstring problem. But Showalter said probably could have played earlier than today, but they wanted to get that day off yesterday for a little extra rest. So the Orioles, they will get him back. Obviously vital, the long ball, the leadoff batter for the O's. Chris Tillman, they now have a schedule set up for him. Last start went on the DL August 24. The O's are 20-6 when he pitches. He's going to throw on Sunday and Wednesday in the side. On the 9th, he'll play catch. The 11th, they schedule him back. For Darren O'Day, it's a matter of how do you feel. He's throwing again off flat ground, but they do not know when he's going to be available to pitch again in a major league game. DL, August 13. That's a rotator strain for Darren, and we wait to see whether or not it gets well enough in time for him to be back. So, Mike, there were players added today. Get Adam Jones back in the lineup and hope for the other two.
Adam Jones, a huge lift to this team, definitely. I mean, he's been a spark plug since moving to the top of the order, and they need his leadership at the top right now. It seems like, even though the Orioles are still, if the season ended today, in the postseason, it just seems like there's a lot of negativity going on. This team has not played their best baseball since the All-Star break, so they're looking for their leadership. Adam Jones, the big leader, to step up, and of course they need to all hands on deck. The September call-ups, you don't know when O'Day's coming back, and you really don't know about Tillman either. So whoever's here, give it your best shot. Go out and get them.
Bourne and Stubbs, 2 outfielders. The Orioles actually wanted a little earlier than having him join today. They get a little depth in the outfield, especially defensively, which they felt they needed.
I think that's the most important thing. Defense at the end of a ball game. These are 2 proven outfielders. Great speed. You might see them come in pinch run late in the ball game as well. And this is an important part of their success, the Orioles defense, obviously. And they've kind of been lacking in the corner spots this season, even last year when you look at it. And you might even want to say that hand in hand, the earned run average has gone up when the corner outfielders' production has gone down. So nice pickup to get a couple extra outfielders for sure.
Buck Showalter doesn't like to add a lot of folks, especially when they're in the race. So not a lot were added today. We'll talk about that as we go along tonight. The Orioles do get some help, and available tonight, another left-handed pitcher. Yankees, Orioles. Happy weekend, everybody. Keep it safe and enjoy the baseball. Orioles baseball on Masson, brought to you by Southwest. Transparency, low fares, nothing to hide. And by Navy Federal, proudly serving the armed forces and their families for over 80 years, federally insured by NCUA. Gorgeous night to begin this Labor Day weekend. Take a look at our BGE home game time temperature. 77 degrees. Humidity is down and not much of a breeze. BGE Home is Baltimore's home team for heating, cooling, plumbing, and electrical. Why would you call anyone else? Take a look at the starting lineup. Joe Girardi's Yankees. They will have Gardner, Ellsbury, and Sanchez. Teixeira, Gregorius, Castro, McCann, Headley, and Judge. Gary Sanchez, last 15 games. Oh yeah, piling it on.
And let's take a look at Dylan Bundy's pitch arsenal this season. The fastball 61% of the time. Good heater when he can command it. Last couple starts, some problems with the command of the fastball. Led to a career high 5 earned runs in his last start. The 31 games, 9 as a starter for the Orioles. 7-5 record, 3.71 earned run average, 80 punch-outs in 85 innings for Bundy. And he's limited, or had been limiting, the walks. 7 though in his last 2 starts. Opponents hitting .260 overall off Bundy. He's given up the 13 long balls. Dylan Bundy looking to bounce back after that last start. Been some questions. Is Dylan Bundy's health finally starting to wane a little bit? Is he getting tired down the stretch? Well, it's September baseball, so you got to find a way to pick it up. And they're asking a lot of Dylan Bundy and the rest of this young rotation with Gausman as well. We've got to step up tonight, start this series right.
And Bourne and Stubbs, the 2 outfielders, joining the ball club today in uniform, getting a little meet and greet going on in the dugout for the players. And we are ready to go in the series. Yankees have the edge 7-6. It's been about home field though. Orioles are 4-2 in the games against the Yankees here at Camden Yards. Pitch to Gardner will be taken for a ball. In at third base is Manny Machado. Gardner on the season against the Orioles hitting .340, and he has driven in 6 runs. That'll be fouled off down the left side, and a 1-ball 1-strike count.
Yeah, Yankees always been tough when they can get Gardner and Ellsbury going at the top of this lineup. And yeah, Gardner has been swinging a good bat against the Orioles. And Girardi looks like now maybe in the running for manager of the year since the youth movement.
I think he was in it before, because I don't know how we were winning any games before
yeah,
they had the youth movement. 1-1 delivery on the way up the middle, and Gardner's got a base hit. That's when he is at his best. He just slapped the ball, almost just a 3/4 swing to get the barrel of the bat on it.
Yeah, pretty sound approach there. Take a look at the Orioles defense behind Bundy. Kim Jones and Trumbo in the O's outfield. Hardy and Scope will be up the middle. Machado and Davis once again on the corners with Matt Wieters behind the plate.
And here is Jacoby Ellsbury. Jacoby Ellsbury, .277 against the Orioles on the year. Again, Manny Machado will stay in at third base. Ellsbury had a 1-for-3 against Bundy last outing against New York at the stadium. 5 runs, 7 hits, 4 innings. He took the loss. That was a career high run total against him, and that will be fouled back. Dylan has struggled a bit in the last few starts. 1-2. ERA is 7.5 over the last 3 starts. Now, prior to that, he'd gone 4-1. The ERA was 1.84 in the previous 5 starts. So he's trying to get back to where he was 4 starts ago. He shows bunt and will take the pitch in there for a strike. 0-2 on Ellsbury.
Yeah, I think this is all just kind of uncharted territory for Dylan Bundy and the Orioles. The amount of innings pitched right now, concern a little bit about the velocity slowing down. But Dylan said himself, it's all about the command. He says, I'd rather throw 90 miles an hour and be able to locate my fastball than throw 97 and not have an idea where it's going.
Yep. 0-2 delivery on the way. Pick off at first base. Got him! Oh, what a big play early by Matt Wieters. Tag put on at first by Davis as Gardner got caught wandering.
How about Matt Wieters? Great call with the fastball up and away. Easy pitch for him to handle, and he has been throwing like a middle infielder. Quick catch and release. And how about Davis? Knows where he is on the base. Puts the glove down in front. Gardner doing his best to try to avoid that tag, but nice job putting it in front of the bag.
Wow. Mark that one down. I mean, that's a big no-no always, but in a game as important as these are in this series. Those are the kind of plays that spell the difference. The Girardi having a kind of a backward look
right.
in conversation with Gardner. Chris Davis on the tag on him. You saw Davis got the glove down so he couldn't get back to the bag. Ellsbury able to foul that one off the fist, 1 and 2.
Yeah, really good play. Court awareness early in a ball game. Matt Wieters obviously keeping his eye on Gardner and aware of his speed, but the wherewithal to call the play, and Davis being ready, of course. I mean, great all-around play. A good way to start the game.
1-2 delivery on the way will bite the dust, and a 2-ball 2-strike count on Jacoby Ellsbury. Well, the Yankees come in having won their last 2 games. They are 6.5 out of the division lead, but only 2.5 behind the Tigers and the Orioles, who are tied for the second wild card spot. Girardi's club at 69 and 63. That's right there, and he knew it. Ellsbury was headed to the dugout before the home plate umpire could make the call.
Now, real good fastball here. Matt Wieters wanting him to establish the heater early. I think Ellsbury thinking about something else. 94 though, some cheese at the knees to lock him up. That's about all it is. It's a fastball. He was guessing off speed.
And here is Gary Sanchez, who did a number on the Orioles and on Bundy in that last start in New York. He went 1 for 2 with a home run against Bundy. Skips all the way back. He cooled off a little bit in their last series at Kansas City, went 3 for 15. Yankees coming off a 2-1 series against the Royals, but still has a 9-game hit streak going. Sanchez will take the pitch and it will miss. Carlos Torres is the home plate umpire. In all of the umpires, he is one of the most favorable towards hitters historically among all of them. He's right up there at the top, so that strike zone can get a little bit small, and we'll see if the hitters try and take advantage of that. 2-1.
Oh, Dylan Bundy painting right now. Good fastball on the inside corner at 94. And get it by Sanchez. It's going to be all about keeping these hitters off balance, changing the speeds. Let that play up, that fastball play up.
There's that good breaking ball, the off-speed pitch, and a 2-ball 2-strike count on Sanchez. Sanchez obviously coming onto the scene, exploding. 6 for 12, 2 homers against the Orioles with the 5 RBIs in that series. Started to go, did not go around. Paul Emmel down at first base says no.
On the hard breaking ball here, down in the dirt. Sanchez biting on it a little bit. I'll tell you, he'll get out in front. Saw the weight go forward, and Matt Wieters immediately pointing down. He actually pointed down on the pickoff at first base too.
3-2 delivery, a floater, and that's what Sanchez has been doing. He, for a young player, has looks like a really good idea of where the strike zone is, and he picks up a walk. Well, take a look at the season series between these two.
Yeah, Baltimore beating the Bronx here at Camden Yards, 4-2. Only hitting .229, but 6 home runs here at Camden. They've played them so well. Camden Yards, Yankee Stadium, it's been tougher. Only 2 wins for the O's. It's kind of been a trend. They've played the Yankees really tough the last couple years at Camden Yards.
And here is Mark Teixeira, the Maryland native who draws all the boos from the Marylanders who wish he had played in Baltimore somewhere along the way.
All right. He teased the fans one year.
0-1 delivery will be fouled away. Teixeira, 0-2 count, runner at first base, 2 down. Big play already in this game, that pick off of Gardner, who got on with a leadoff single. That is an enormous play here in the first inning. 0-2 count. Outfield pretty much straight away on him. Teixeira reaching for it, puts it up in the air, not deep. Jones coming in, and Adam will put it away. So Bundy continues strong in the first innings. He's given up only 3 runs on 4 hits in his starts. Lots of signs. Oriole fans on hand here tonight. Cheer them on against the Yankees. Take a look at the lineup brought to you by Southwest. Transparency, low fares, nothing to hide. Jones, Alvarez, and Machado. Note the top. Jones back in. Davis, Trumbo, and Scope. Wieters, Hardy, Kim will bat ninth in this one for Jonathan over the last 4 sizzling batters.
Yeah, let's take a look at Chad Green's pitch arsenal this season. The fastball 52% of the time. It's a power arm. He'll rush it up there in the mid-90s. Breaking ball, good curve. Orioles saw a lot of the breaking ball in the last start. Look to him for him to go to it again. 409 earned run average, and this being his 8th start of the year. Opponent's hitting .259. 11 home runs given up by Green.
And Adam Jones back in after missing 5 games. The left hamstring was the problem. Extra day with a rest yesterday. The Orioles not playing. So Buck Showalter hoping. As he said, he knows Adams going to go all out. There's no slowing him down. And in fact, that's what took him out of the game. The hamstring had bothered him in New York in one game. He came back in his first at bat the next game, charged down the line at first on an out, and went across the bag, and the hammy was strained again.
Yeah, well, pretty fortunate, I think, that Adam Jones didn't miss more time. I think catching it a little bit sooner. Obviously a little bit more in there than Adam thought.
That's going to go to right center field. That's where it'll come down for a base hit. So welcome back, Adam Jones, with a leadoff single.
There you go. Adam Jones, the spark plug at the top. 3 good fastballs at the bottom of the zone, and the hanging breaking ball. It stays up there, and it's a cripple pitch that Adam Jones stays on top of. Nice sound approach there.
Adam hitting over .312 now as the first batter of a game for the Orioles, and .300 in the leadoff spot, so he keeps it up, and the Orioles get the leadoff man on. Pedro Alvarez is the DH for the O's, and he's batting in the number 2 spot in the lineup tonight. Put a little power up there. Swing and a miss on a nasty breaking ball down and in. Well,
that's Pedro Alvarez guessing one thing. That's the heater. He wants to put the Orioles on the scoreboard early here. So you sell out. Now you go back to the drawing board. See the baseball first and trust that swing that's been so good to him last few months. Alvarez has been one of the hottest hitters for the O's.
Second game where he's batted second. That one's going to get away. That'll move a runner into scoring position for the Orioles. Chad Green. That one looked like Sanchez had a chance to catch it, but not quite. Boy, that is a zoom ball there. I think at times kind of get a little yank happy there, trying to cut the fastball, and just pulls it almost into the kneecaps of Alvarez. Wild pitch called. That's the first wild pitch Green has had called against him. So Alvarez now with the runner on at second base and nobody out. And he keeps throwing that nasty slider down and in, and the count goes to a ball and 2 strikes. Boy, that was a good one there. Threw it hard. Great late bite. Alvarez went 1 for 2 against Green in the start in New York. This is a rematch of that game in New York between Green and Bundy for the starters. 1-2 pitch on the way, and then came with heat away and gets him. That's pretty good job of pitching right there. That sure is. 3 breaking balls, getting Alvarez slowed down on the Mercedes-Benz pitch track. The best or nothing from Mercedes-Benz, and they're a high heater, 94 miles an hour after 3 breaking balls down and in. Got to play that heater up. It came in looking like 100. That'll bring up Manny Machado. Manny continuing the great numbers. Just magnificent season for him, both at the plate and in the field. He's got on the silver shoes. They are being worn for the Major League Baseball effort against child cancer research. Good scoop made right there by Sanchez. He's got the gold ones on with the guard. It's not necessarily a color combination you'd pick to go to the ball then, but you know, it's for a great cause. Sure is. Jones off second base. Orioles looking to get the early lead in this ball game. Manny had a 1 for 4 off Chad Green in New York, and the pitch will be in the outside corner for a strike. Both of these pitchers struggled mightily in that game in New York. Dylan Bundy got chased early. Chad Green didn't hang around long enough to get a decision. The Yankees ultimately blew the ball game wide open. 1 ball, 1 strike count. And a pickoff at second base. Look at that arm. He didn't get him, but how's that for a throw? That's Tony Pena as a coach with the Yankees. That's what Pena used to do. He'd never even come up out of the crouch.
Yeah, he probably taught him this. Good slider down and away. And he created a little momentum down there. Some strong legs do that. Adam Jones, great secondary lead out there. And look at the ankle, though. A little twist on the end.
Wow.
Keep an eye on that.
2 ball, 1 strike count. There's Tony. Machado take the pitch way outside. Sanchez has really had to work as Chad Green has got almost too much stuff on the ball.
Yeah, well, both pitchers a little extra rest. So take a look at this, though. Get to him early. The first inning has been a huge problem for Chad Green. How about the earned run average? 10.29 in the first inning, as opposed to the second inning on 3.90. Every number in the first inning up, just trying to get a feel for his pitches. Batting average 394, the whip 2.43. I mean, impressively poor numbers in the first inning for Chad Green. The Orioles offense better try to put the pressure on him right now. Trying to make a mark and keep it going.
8 runs, 13 hits, 5 home runs against him in the first inning. Machado will take the pitch outside and he'll pick up the free pass. So the Orioles get 2 on, 1 down here in the first inning. And that will bring up Chris Davis and our PNC Inside the Numbers.
We'll take a look at the leaders in August for the Orioles. Machado led the way with that .312 batting average. Home runs and triple threat here. Davis, Machado, and Trumbo all had 10 homers. Machado with the RBI. Dylan Bundy and Gausman stepping up when they need the young arms too. 4 wins each in the month of August. And Gausman certainly settling in with that earned run average well down.
Chris Davis will foul it off. Davis had 2 home runs and 3 at bats against Chad Green in the game in New York. He homered off him in the 3rd inning, a 2-run homer. His 32nd home run of the year came in the 5th inning, and it was a back-to-back job as he and Trumbo had back-to-back home runs. And that was about the end for Chad Green. He faced 1 more batter and came out of the game.
There you go. This is what you're talking about, Gary. Came on 27th. Chris Davis, a 2-run shot, start that ball game off, and here it is. He hits 2 in the game. Ended up being back-to-back by Davis and Trumbo.
3 home runs Green gave up against the Orioles. Fastball will be taken up high. First and second, 2 ball, 1 strike count. Only 1 down here in the first inning. Davis, left-handed hitter. Green struggles against him with that .296 batting average by left-handers. 70+ points higher than against righties. And he tries to lift that one and fouls it away. 2 ball, 2 strike count on Chris.
Good pass, a little extra life up there on Chad Green's fastball. A little bit of a cross-body delivery, so it adds to the deception.
In that contest in New York, Chad Green, 4 earned runs, 3 homers in 4 2/3 innings. Dylan Bundy took the loss in the game. He gave up 5 runs, 4 innings pitched in that matchup. 2 ball, 2 strike count. Davis on a check swing will have the ball hit the bat right back into the screen, and it will stay at 2-2 on Chris. Orioles and Detroit tied for the wild card's 2nd spot. Orioles are 4 games off the division leader Toronto. Frank Showalter taking his ball club into the month of September after a 13-16 August. 2-2 delivered to Davis and stayed up and got him.
Well, pretty good fastball right there, and Davis doing his best mechanically keeping the front side in, put a little extra life. 94 hitting that up and in quadrant on the power hitter. You better execute. Mistakes down in the zone and the crusher will make you pay. Said the 10 home runs in August.
So the Orioles 0 for 2 already with runners in scoring position, and here is Mark Trumbo, the world leader in home runs. And Trumbo this season .299 with runners in scoring position. I'd like to get another one here and hit that 300 mark.
Runners off first and second with 2 down. And the pitch that will be taken away. He too home run off Green.
All right, back-to-back jobs after Davis hit one. Next batter, Trumbo, getting on the board as well. Mark Trumbo, 40 home runs this year to lead all baseball.
He's had 5 homers against the Yankees in the first 13 games and 7 RBIs. He's been the leader for the Orioles in that department of picking up runs against New York so far this year. For those big blowouts that the Orioles suffered in New York, the Yankees on the year have outscored the Orioles 64-40. Both teams have hit 14 home runs. ERA for the Yankees against the O's is 2.99. The Orioles against the Yankees is 4.94. 2-0 delivery to Trumbo, and again cutting away. 2-1.
Pretty good pitch right there. Just a steady diet of breaking balls. A little firmer slider, the slower curveball, and then that 94-95 mile an hour fastball comes in, look like 100 plus at the top of the zone.
David Green started in the minors, 16 starts at AAA, where he went 7-6 with a 1.5 ERA. 2-1 delivery on the way. That's up the middle, knocked down. Runners are going to stay where they are, and an infield hit picked up by Trumbo will load the bases as Green knocked it down and slowed it down. Castro could not get to it.
Green getting a piece. Fortunately, Castro right there. Green knocking it down, allowing this inning to continue. It would have been one of those hard hit balls right at a defender. And Green just slapping the glove down. Slows it down, unfortunately, for the Orioles. No runs score. Oh, it's a foot. It's a kick save, Gary.
It
and
is.
A beauty.
Kick save and a beauty. And he apparently is all right. So the sack's full is Jonathan Schoop. Schoop went 0 for 4 against Chad Green in New York. So a big chance here in the first inning for the O's. And Schoop will go after the first one and not catch up with it. The Orioles in the series in New York in 3 games had only 13 chances with a runner in scoring position. The Yankees had 33 in that series. The Orioles getting a shot at it here in the first inning. Yankees took advantage of it in New York. Orioles would like to do it here at home. 0-1 delivery to him. Schoop down to first. Foul on a chopper.
We try and take a look at the Yankees defense behind Green. Gardner, Ellsbury, and the youngster Judge over in right field. Gregorius and Castro will be up the middle. Headley and Teixeira on the corners. And the rookie phenom Gary Sanchez will be behind the plate.
Yankees 7th in the American League in defensive fielding percentage. So the middle of the pack for New York. 0-2 count. Jonathan Schoop a chance to blow it open. Green a chance to strike out the side. 0-2 pitch on the way, and hung one for him to look at, and not even tempted by that one. 1-2.
Now, pretty good arm, you can tell. Live power fastball. Really the key to his success, and a big reason why he's up here. The breaking ball that he's been featuring here at the beginning part of this ball game. And pitching coach in AAA, Tommy Phelps, teaching him a different grip on the slider.
1-2 foul tipped, and he strikes the side out. Well, it wasn't easy for Green, but he did get it done, and the Orioles do not. No runs, couple of hits. They leave the sacks full. No score. Express Stat, Express Care Lifebridge Health Partner. For locations, visit whywaitintheer.com.
Yeah, how about the Orioles? Happy to turn the calendar for sure. American League team ranks in August. The Orioles 132 runs scored in August. That's tied for 8th, believe it or not, even with all the home runs they hit. About 4.5 runs per game. The earned run average at 5.33, 14th in the American League. Starters earned run average, bullpen earned run average, everything up on the pitcher's standpoint, and the offense down a little bit. This team has to come together completely, not just one aspect really. If they want to make it in the postseason, they've got to play their best team baseball this last month of the season.
Didi Gregorius, 12-game hit streak, raising his average to that 286 mark. Fouls that one back. He's gone 16 for 53 during the streak, which is a 302 batting average. He has had a homer, scored 9 runs during the 12-game streak, and as hot as he's been all year. He went 2 for 4 against Bundy. 0-2 delivery on the way, and he'll foul that one back into the screen. We were talking before the game. I thought the most surprising number on there, who would have believed that in any month the Orioles bullpen would have the highest ERA in the league?
I know, and you know what? It's been pretty amazing that the last 5 years that the bullpen's been able to really keep their head above water and be one of the most dominant bullpens in the game, because it's been a consistent trend that the Orioles starters just cannot get enough innings under their belt, and the bullpen is finally starting to show why. I mean, they're just pitching too many innings and they're getting beat up. And Brad Brock, you just never really see any of Buck Showalter's bullpen arms leading in innings pitched, or, you know, he's always very careful not to put them in harm's way. But this year, he's just been behind the 8 ball in that regard and had to use them.
Yep. Brought up today, Jason Aquino, 23-year-old. He's a left-hander. He'll be out there in the bullpen. That'll go to second base. Jonathan Scopes got it. Play is made. Didi Gregorius is retired. On Friday, September 16, the Orioles take on the Rays, 7:05, and the first 20,000 fans 15 and over get the Orioles high socks. Show you colors head to toe. Postseason atmosphere. It's here. It's September. Get your tickets at Orioles.com or 888-848-BIRD. Starlin Castro coming up. Castro's got a 3-game hit streak. He went 2 for 5 against Bundy in New York. He too is carrying a hot bat. 10 for his last 25. 2 homers, 8 RBIs, and 6 runs scored in the last 6 games against the Orioles. That's why in the year he's hitting .315 against the O's. Good pitch by Bundy. Will miss a little bit inside. Count goes 2-0.
Well, breaking ball looks good from Dylan Bundy. Fastball looks good. Commanding all his pitches pretty well. Haven't seen many change-ups from Dylan Bundy.
Used a lot of those in New York. Swing and a miss. That one down and in.
There's a change right there.
Yep. 2-ball, 1 strike count. Dylan's past the mark where he gets touched up. Pitches 1 through 15. Hitters are .322 against him. After that, no matter how many pitches, the average is below .250. 2-1 delivery, and then he goes heat upstairs, and Castro chases and not real happy with himself. 2-2.
I like that. Good fastball. So many hitters, they hit off the fastball. The good hitters, you've got to go up there looking to hit a fastball, or you're going to have problems. And even sitting on a heater, 94 getting by Castro there.
Foul back to hold the count.
Take a look, Dylan Bundy, the opponent average by pitch type, and this season pre-All-Star break, his pitches, the numbers all up, and since then, since settling into the starter role, everything down. Changeup 228, curveball 200, fastball 222. He's getting into a routine. He is made to be a starting pitcher at the major league level. He's always had great command with his pitches, and the results are starting to show. Pretty impressive on all 3 of his weapons.
He is 5-4 with a 4.21 ERA as a starter this year. 3-ball, 2-strike delivery on the way, and a chopper to the middle. Scope will get it. Can he get the throw over there? Oh, mercy! There's that arm again. He and that guy from Seattle who plays second. 2 of the few who can do this.
That's right. Unbelievable play. What athleticism by the Orioles second baseman Jonathan Schoop, reaching out. That ball looked like it was going to avoid him. Maybe Schoop have to leave his feet, but he pulled the Machado extendo arm, reaching out there. 6'3" frame. He can cover some ground. Beautiful off balance throw, right on the money to Davis.
He and Robinson Cano, I really think, are about the only two who can do that consistently, going that way and make that strong a throw, and he has done that all year long. Defense coming up big for the Orioles here in the early part of the ball game. DHing is Brian McCann. McCann had a 1-for-2 off Bundy in New York. Sanchez getting the starts behind the plate now. McCann getting his bat in the DH role, coming off an 0-for-5 against Kansas City. He's gone 4-for-14 in the series there. Foul back, ended up one-hand swing and dropped the bat, and an 0-2 count on it.
A couple good fastballs from Dylan Bundy, and this is really what it's all about for Dylan. The command of the heater. Matt Wieters wanting the fastball up and in, not once but twice, and Dylan Bundy executing perfectly to get ahead 0-2.
2 down, nobody on. Shift on against McCann. There goes the bat again. I think it's time for some tar. He'll have plenty of time to do it since he's the DH and he just struck out. Second strikeout picked up by Bundy. We'll go to the second inning. The Orioles, Wieters, Hardy, Kim. Enjoy a cold one to look forward to Miller Time later in tonight's game, brought to you by Miller Lights. No score as we go to the second inning. Chad Green, 25-year-old right-hander, making start number 8. He'll face Matt Wieters. Matt had an 0-for-2 against him in New York. Wieters stands in with a dozen long balls, 53 RBIs on the year, and the pitch taken for a strike. Red Sox are on the West Coast tonight. We've got Seattle. Toronto jumped out to an early lead in their ball game, but they're just underway. Tigers, the Orioles will keep an eye on what's going on with Detroit, tied for the wild card spot. Pitch is taken down low, and a 2-ball 1-strike count on Wieters. It's an interesting story, at least I thought it was today, about September baseball, which Buck Showalter says he hates. And he's always said that. He doesn't like the fact you play the game in September differently than you've played it for the last 6 months. Because all of a sudden you got all kinds of new players and guys added on the bench. And while the pitching may be needed in the Orioles situation, it still changes everything. Broken bat, Nubber. Castro's got to run a mile to get to it and will get the out. Look at our PNC minor league report. PNC for the Achiever, and you?
No, you're talking about the call-ups. Here's a few for the Orioles. Jason Aquino, left-handed pitcher, 3.72 earned run average in 20 games. 19 games started in the minors this year, AA, AAA. Caleb Joseph, welcome back to the big leagues. A 40 games this season with the O's, just 193. But got the bat going in AAA, and Tyler Wilson, of course, back up with the O's.
And the pitch will be taken up high by Hardy. Hardy a 1 for 3 against Green. So Aquino's in the bullpen. Jason Aquino. Caleb Joseph back. So the Orioles with 3 catchers now. That'll be in there for a strike. And there is Tyler Wilson, who's been up and down all season long with the Orioles, both as a starter and a reliever. Hardy will take the pitch inside. Story I saw with the Red Sox, vital games out in Oakland. Oakland has decided to make 1 call-up for the game tonight. Why? Because their AAA team is in the playoffs. Now, how can that be fair? Important games for the Red Sox, meaningless for Oakland.
Yeah.
Yet they don't put out their best product. They've got better players at AAA they could bring up and would bring up if their team was not in the playoffs. Center field hit hard. Back Ellsbury, not going to get it. Off the base of the wall on his way to second base. That'll be a stand-up double. Throw to the cutoff man, and Hardy's on with a 2-bagger.
Great swing by J.J. Hardy, picking up his 21st double of the season. He gets on top of the high fastball. You see the catcher setting up down and away, but it's elevated. You got to do a little bit to beat Ellsbury deep. J.J. Hardy does. A little extra carry there. 1 hop in the wall.
Ellsbury thought he had a shot at it, and that ball was really zooming and hit off the base, so the Orioles get another scoring chance. Kim moved to the number 9 spot in this game to give the Orioles in effect 2 leadoff batters with Kim and Jones 9 and 1, and the pitch taken for a strike. Kim has continued to give the Orioles as much as they could ask for. 315, 4 homers, 15 RBIs. He scored 32 runs on the year. Timeout asked for by Gary Sanchez. So now can he get a run in from second base and put the Orioles up?
That would be nice. He's been using the whole field, slapping it around a little bit. The Orioles picking up a couple outfielders that will add to a little bit of the offensive punch of this team as well as defensively.
Yep.
I think Buck Showalter a little concerned about the defense on the corners, but there's some team speed. There's some of the newest.
0-1 delivery on the way, and that'll be away. 3:08 with runners in scoring position for Kim this season. He has also enjoyed this ballpark. He's hit .290 on the road, which is outstanding. But here at Camden Yards, he's hitting .341 this year. Granted, not as many at bats as some of the regulars. 1-1 delivery on the way, came in on the fists, and he fouls it back. 1-2 on Kim.
Well, I don't think he can be disappointed with his year at all. No. I mean, wow. I mean, he's a pro, right? He worked at his craft, stayed on it. I mean, it's an everyday thing, trying to make himself better. And all that hard work has paid off. Certainly proving himself this season on both sides of the ball.
Yeah. 1-2 delivery on the way. Put up in the air to center. Ellsbury thinks he's got a chance. At the wall, he does. Runner will tag, but not going to be able to move up here as Hardy had gone halfway. So Ellsbury lined that one up, and there are 2 down. Maryland Lottery contestant of the game, Mary Dotson from Pasadena, has won $500 for being selected. $500 more for every Orioles home run hit tonight. Grab a home run Rich's scratch off before they're gone, and you could win up to $50,000. Visit mdlottery.com/baseball. Good luck, Mayor. As Rhoda used to say. 2 down. Here's Adam Jones. Jones 308 in these situations on the year. Hardy out there at second base. There are 2 down. Adam led the Orioles part of the ball game off with a base hit. Was stranded in the first inning. This one to center field. Ellsbury coming. It's going to fall in. Hardy will score. Adam Jones 2 for 2 and an RBI and a 1-0 O's lead.
Now, so important for this Orioles team to make that first mark. Nice at bat by Adam Jones, not wasting any time. Getting a pitch he feels like he can handle. And knock the cover off it, but hey, finding some outfield grass with a stake on the end. How about J.J. Hardy with a good secondary lead? It's a little wider out there at second base with 2 outs to tighten the turn at third. easily scoring for Adam Jones.
75 RBIs for Adam, and a 2-out RBI at that. Here is Alvarez, DH, batting second. Struck out his first time up on slider after slider after slider, and then fastball up and away. So the Orioles on the board. Shift on against Pedro Alvarez. Oriole DH in this game. That'll miss inside. Alvarez against the Yankees this year, hitting .156. He has had 1 home run and 4 RBIs, and that's pretty consistent with Pedro's career average, which is only .146 against the Yankees. 1 ball, 1 strike delivery to him, hit hard and foul outside of first.
He stayed on that little slider, trying to scare him out of there.
Watching Adam run there, Mike, looks like that left hamstring right now is pretty good shape, not bothering him. He took off, got a good start.
Oh yeah, he's bouncing around, almost as if to say, hey, I'm ready to go. I mean, he was getting a real good secondary lead at second base in the first inning. Sanchez ended up throwing behind him. He's showing everybody the hamstring feels good.
1 ball, 2 strike count. Shera holds the runner. Pitch on the way, looking for the outside corner, won't get it. That's what we were talking about earlier, those close call pitches. Carlos Torres, for the most part, will go with the hitter, not the pitcher. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Outfield deep, straight away. Jones off first, 2-2, ripped down the line, and curving just foul.
He's getting there. Really starting to pull the hands inside a little bit more instead of getting around the baseball. Leading with the barrel and hooking those cutters and sliders on the inside corner. You lead with the hands, get the barrel though first. Almost sneaking that one down the right field line.
That'll get the runner back. Jones over at first base. Count stays at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Pedro Alvarez, 297 in August, 6 home runs. Very productive month. 2-2 delivery to him. Will miss another one of those sliders that comes inside. So 3-2. The 7th pitch of this at bat to Shera. Will go behind the runner, Adam Jones, at first base, but not too far. Doesn't want to give him a big break to second. 3-2, runner goes. Alvarez got it way back in right field. Judge turns to watch. Goodbye, home run. Hello, Utah Street.
The bull igniting the crowd with that 2-run shot, 20th of the year. Man. Here comes the bull. Adam Jones ready, and there he is. Number 20.
Boy, did he wallop that one. A visit to the mound. Larry Rothschild, the pitching coach. Been a problem for Green all year. The long ball. That'll be the 12th he surrendered.
Here you go. Fastball after a steady diet of breaking balls. 113 miles an hour off the bat, cutting through that beautiful fall sky. 424 out on the Utah Street.
So the Orioles take a 3-0 lead. And the pitch will be taken outside. And again, Orioles taking advantage. These 2-out RBIs. Adam Jones with a base hit with 2 down. The home run, number 20 for Alvarez, followed. And the Orioles have 3 runs on 5 hits already. And the Orioles now with 6 players who have reached that 20 home run mark. An amazing number. Pitches outside. Trumbo, of course, the leader in the majors with 40. Alvarez joining Chris Davis, Adam Jones, Manny Machado, Jonathan Scope, all with 20 or more.
Pretty impressive. And let's not forget about the little lineup juggle, getting the bull up there in the number 2 spot. You know, Buck Showalter's lineup, he's had to maneuver it a little bit throughout the course of the year, sliding Adam Jones up there. And for a team that does not play a lot of small ball, kind of a station team, they don't steal bases, Buck's got to move the lineup around a little bit. Now with the September call-ups, can do some different things when the matchups start happening at the end of a ball game.
After the home run, another walk. Manny Machado has drawn both of the free passes Chad Green has surrendered in this game. Nick Goody in the bullpen. Goody, one of those called up by the Yankees today. He's been up and down with the ball club. Jonathan Holder called up, a right-handed pitcher. Goody. Rob Refsnyder, who's been up this year, an infielder. Luis Severino, the right-hander's up. Kirby Yates, a right-hander, is up. Eric Young, an outfielder, is up. And Joe Girardi's on his way out on a medical check.
Yeah, Gregorius starting to call out the manager and the trainer. Chad Green, something going on with the arm.
He's coming out. Oh, that is going to be it for Chad Green. He will come out of the ball game, and as happened to him in New York against the Orioles, a very short start. And he will leave this one trailing 3-0 and responsible for the Oriole base runner. You're happy to have a few extra players pitching wise. Joe Girardi starter out of there. Gary Thorne, Mike Bordick. Mike, the years you spent in the majors, from a player's perspective, when you get to September and you have the call-ups, what's the perspective?
Well, I'll tell you, it's really tricky because if you're on a winning team, you don't want to disrupt the clubhouse at all. You say, okay, just take who you need. You don't want extra players in there clogging up the space and ruining the routine that you've established to get you to the point where you are that day. When you're on a losing team and you're out of it, hey, bring them all up. More the merrier. We got to find out how we're going to turn this around. We got to see what we have in the minor leagues. But yeah, if you're headed to the postseason, sometimes it could be challenging for sure. Keep your focus.
And it's got to be a little tough for the guys who get called up, particularly those who have not been around the Major League Ball Club on the year, to try and feel their way as to what they're doing and relationships and all that.
Absolutely. And that's when you need the manager to step in and say, listen, for you guys, you just watch, you keep your mouth shut, and you watch the big leaguers, how they go about their business every day, how they go about their routines. Tony La Russa used to do that, and he would actually pull the whole team aside and say, listen, if you guys don't have time, just be quiet. Don't say a thing. Watch guys like Ricky Henderson. Watch guys like Bob Welch, Walt Weiss. The list goes on and on. You know, and for the Orioles, the call-ups, watch Adam Jones. Watch these great veterans out here on this field. So that's the way you handle it.
And what Buck Showalter has tried to do, I think, along with Dan Duquette, is their call-ups are really players they want here because they think they can help the ball club right now.
Absolutely. Absolutely. There's no sense in having a person just filling a locker in there unless it's a young talent that you just want him to get their feet wet because he's going to make an impact maybe next year. Dan Duquette and Buck Showalter are bringing up pieces that they're going to use, that they need this month. And so it's basically all hands on deck for Buck Showalter. And take a look at Chad Green's pitch line. Just an inning and 2/3 against this Orioles lineup. Something happening with the arm. Gave up the 3 earned runs. It could have been the Alvarez bomb that made that arm start hurting. Now it's time for the Jiffy Lube pitching change, brought to you by Jiffy Lube, where participating stores now do brake services. Stop in and let Jiffy Lube inspect your brakes today.
Nick Goody with a runner on at first base throws a strike to Chris Davis.
We'll take a look at Nick Goody's numbers on the year. In 26 game, 4.23 earned run average. Fastball slider pitcher. Take a look at his Heritage runner stranded. He's had some trouble.
Goody with the 0-1 delivery. That'll be taken for a ball. Goody, his 4th time up with the Yankees this year. He's not had a decision in 26 relief appearances with New York on the year. He was pitching at AAA out of the bullpen 18 times, 0-1, 5 saves. Made his major league debut last year with the Yankees. 1 ball, 1 strike delivery. Davis got one way up in the air. Power alley in right. And goodbye. Home run. Chris Davis for 2.
This is the type of inning that the Orioles like to see. Big time crooked number, couple home runs. The crusher started heating up in August, carrying into September.
2 RBI homers here in the 2nd inning for the Orioles and a 5-0 lead. And for Mary Dotson, our Maryland lottery contestant, 500 for each. Pitch is taken for a strike by Trumbo.
Now take a look at this greeting in the Nissan pitch track. This heater staying all over the white of the plate, and the crusher keeping the head down, short to the baseball, and then long through it. 33rd home run of the year.
Swing and a miss on a slider. Trumbo delivered a base hit his first time up. Chris delivering the long ball. So 1 off Green, 1 off Goody. 4 of the runs will be charged to the starter, Chad Green, in an inning and 2/3 worth of work. In the air, left field. That's way back. That's at the wall. Hey, goodbye, home run. The major league leader. Trumbo delivers another jumbo, and that is number 41.
Man. So impressive when this team gets rolling. Incredible power hitters. Trumbo has stayed tall all year long. Not much of a breakdown in his mechanics offensively at all. As consistent a power hitter as you're going to see in the game today. 41st bomb of the year.
Back-to-back home runs for the 17th time this year. And the last time they did it was against Chad Green in that start in New York. And the Orioles have a 6-0 lead.
So swing and strike on a slider down and away. Catcher wants it there again, Sanchez, but it backs up. And when you get on the inner third with a fastball or a breaking ball, you better duck. It's going a long way. Trumbo didn't miss that one.
All of this with 2 away. 1-0 delivery swung on and missed. Jonathan Schoop. Schoop is the 9th Oriole to come to the plate here in the 2nd inning, as the Orioles chase the starter and get to Goody in a hurry and jump out here in the first game of this weekend set. 6 runs on 7 hits. Schoop on the pitch away, and it goes to a ball and 2 strikes.
Well, this Orioles team has got to get greedy. You cannot be satisfied right now here in just the 2nd inning with the 6 runs on the board. This Yankees team's been sneaking up, and you got to keep the foot on the neck. They put a wrench in the Orioles pitching when they went up and visited Yankee Stadium. This could set the Yankees back big time if they stay on them.
Foul back. Well, Alvarez and Davis there. Alvarez gets his 12th here at home. Chris Davis gets his 16th home run here at Camden Yards. And for Mark Trumbo, he's had 22 homers in his home ballpark and 19 on the road for that major league leading 41. 1 ball, 2 strike count with 2 down as the Orioles piling it on here in the 2nd inning. Schoop on a swing and a miss on a pitch away. And that will do it. But a big inning for the Orioles. Alvarez delivers his 20th. Davis delivers his. And then Trumbo his 41st of the year. And the Orioles lead it 6-0. Brought to you by Coons.com. Over 2 million vehicles sold and counting.
Well, how about the most wins in September and October since 2010? This is why you do not count the Orioles out. 101 wins ahead of everybody. The Angels, the Tigers, the Rangers, the Rays. The O's had not had a losing September since Buck Showalter took the helm. I mean, pretty impressive stuff right there. So this team about to rally in the month of September.
Dylan Bundy with a very substantial lead early. Chase Headley will take the pitch. Headley back at third base in this game. He's got a 5-game hit streak coming into the ball game. Orioles get their big 6-run 2nd inning with a line drive start to this one. Davis right there to haul it in. Headley is retired. Mark your calendars for a new promotional giveaway. It'll be on Saturday, September 17. Rays 7:05 game. First 25,000 fans 15 and over get the vintage Orioles Bobble Boy or Bobble Girl. Add it to your collection. Get your tickets. Orioles.com or 888-848-BIRD. Some of the models used for the Bobble Boy and Girls on hand here at the ballpark tonight, in fact. Get his division shirt on. She's more intent on the game there on the left. 1-0 count. Here's Aaron Judge. He'll foul that one away. Judge, the big rookie, playing in right field in an appearance against the Orioles in the series in New York. 1 for 7. Somebody said today he's probably going to leave the ballpark and play tight end for somebody next week. Right. He is so big. 1-1 delivery. Great off-speed pitch at 75. 1-2.
Yeah, well, Dylan Bundy, Matt Wieters working well right now. A couple good fastballs on the inside corner. Set up that breaking ball. They get the 2 strikes.
And that one will put a K up. Number 3.
Oh, nice sequence right there. Matt Wieters got him working. When he recognizes a pitcher's got the stuff, it's fun putting the fingers down. 2 fastballs in, breaking ball, and then dotting a heater down and away to get Judge. Great sequence, great execution by Bundy.
2 down, nobody on. Bundy wants that nice quick inning after the ball club batted around and got 6 runs on 5 hits in the second inning. Brett Gardner a base hit. Big early play in the game, picked off first base by Matt Wieters. Pitch is in there for a strike to Gardner. Yankee team has been hot. They've won 13 of their last 20. They have won their last 4 series that they have played in. And Joe Girardi's ball club's 32 and 35 on the road. They've been picking the pace up on the road. So the Orioles really want to put a dent in all of that, and in fact try and chase the Yankees out of that wild card race.
Yeah.
2.5 out coming in.
They got to start getting the other teams off their heels, right?
Yep.
And really, I think the best way for this team to do that is not even pay attention to them. Try to overtake the Red Sox. Look ahead. You know, don't look behind. Worry about what's behind you. I mean, you're still in the postseason, and play like one of the best teams in the American League East the rest of the way through.
2 ball, 1 strike count. Toronto 2-1 over Tampa. They're in the 3rd inning of their ball game down in Tampa. And a strike taken on the inside corner, spotting it. And it goes to 2-2 from Dylan Bundy. So Bundy with a chance for a clean inning here in the 3rd, as he had in the 2nd. Gardner trying to slow him down a little bit. Stepped out. 2-2 pitch on the way, and Gardner will foul that one off. Just nubbed it towards the dugout. Came right off the mask.
Oh, Matt Wieters. Wow, has he taken a beating. Ooh, man, good fastball from Bundy. Down and away. Gardner just reaching out, trying to keep the at-bat alive, and Wieters right off the forehead.
Caleb Joseph. You know what that feels like. He's almost flinching over there from Matt. 2-2 delivery on the way, and that'll be taken down low. So the count goes full. 3 balls, 2 strikes on Gardner. Kobe Ellsbury waiting on deck if they get that far. And Gardner again stepping out. Bundy working quickly here, and Gardner trying to thwart that a little bit. 3-2 pitch, and he will draw the walk. So a 2-out free pass. Second walk surrendered by Bundy in the ball game will keep the inning alive for Jacoby Ellsbury.
Pretty solid approach right there from Gardner, not giving his at bat away, making Bundy work, slowing the game down a little bit. That's just what the veteran was supposed to do.
Now you got to believe he's going to be a little more careful over there at first base after he got picked off by Matt Wieters. 2 down, and the pitch will be in there for a strike to Ellsbury. Base stealers against Bundy have gone 8 for 13, but the Yankees trailing here by a score of 6-0. This is not in the 3rd inning a base stealing situation. Ellsbury, the 0-1 delivery to him, and that'll be outside. Lifetime 300 hitter, 307 actually in this ballpark, 310 overall against the Orioles. All those games played with the Red Sox and the Yankees against the O's by Jacoby Ellsbury. 1 ball, 1 strike. Understand Chad Green, the Yankee starter, came out with right elbow pain. Joe Girardi's young 25-year-old out of the ball game, an inning and 2/3, 4 runs and 5 hits, 2 walks and 3 strikeouts. 1-2. Gardner short lead at first base. Ellsbury down to first and foul, and will hold the count at a ball and 2 strikes.
Well, you just never know about pitching, right?
Never.
And unfortunate. And Green battling his way through, obviously getting some opportunities this year, but you wonder about the toll it takes on a young pitcher's arm. He's had a lot of opportunities in the bullpen as well as starting for the Yankees.
That one's going to go to Scope, out of his reach. Gardner will make the turn and stay. Down, you don't take chances on the base paths with 2 away. So Ellsbury delivers a single. This is what the Yankees need. They get their table setters on for Gary Sanchez. So a dangerous situation here for the Orioles, with Sanchez having drawn a walk his first time to the plate, and stands in, of course, with all that power.
Yeah, I got Dylan Bundy. Took him deep up at Yankee Stadium on a fastball up and away. Went to right center. Good coverage of the plate. Howard Hall Fields.
Delivery on the way. Sanchez going for the 3 RBIs. He's reached base in 16 consecutive games. Over that span, 17 RBIs in the last 16 games, including 10 home runs. All kinds of crazy numbers for Sanchez beginning his major league career. 0-1 pitch on the way, and that one will be fouled back, and Bundy gets ahead of him. 0-2.
Pretty impressive pass right there from Sanchez on a good breaking ball. Kept the hands back. And yeah, the numbers he's putting up right now, some of the names that are beside his, DiMaggio, and I mean, it's amazing.
DiMaggio and Mantle come into play a lot when you're measuring his numbers. 0-2 count. Runners on first and second for the Yankees. That's a bouncer. Good stop made by Wieters. He has 20 career extra base hits in 27 games. And the last player to have 20 extra base hits in 27 games or fewer was Jolton Joe. Did it in 1936. DiMaggio did it in 25 games. Sanchez has done it in 27. 1-2 pitch on the way. Bundy gets him to go after it. Wieters will put the tag on and a big strikeout. 4 Ks, no runs, 2 hits, 2 left. Orioles have the lead. Mobile. In our Major League Notebook on the East Winds page, the Blue Jays, they've won 5 out of 6. They're first in the division right now. They're hitting home runs, 15 of them during that stretch. Josh Donaldson's been a leader for him with that .423 average, 6 homers, 11 RBIs over the last 7. The Rays, clearly a spoiler role to be played. 16 of the last 30 are against the Blue Jays, the Orioles, and the Red Sox. And they've come back to tie Toronto 2-2 in their ball game in Tampa tonight.
Cool.
So the Orioles up here 6-0.
Yeah, that Rays team, you better have your A game. Their starting pitch is starting to turn around. Their bullpen's back and healthy. And they're doing what they have done in the past, and that's pitch.
Matt Wieters started the last inning out as he grounded out. And the Orioles would get a kick start from Hardy with a double, and with 2 away, went on to score 6 2-out runs in that second inning. Wieters, Hardy, and Kim full shift on against Matt. 0-1 pitch to him, and there's a good changeup. Nick Goody staying on, charged with one of the runs, the home run
picked up by Davis, and then two of them actually. The home run put up by Trumbo also charged to Goody. 0-2 count. Foul ball comes straight back. 3-game set against the Yankees for the Orioles tomorrow. Kevin Gausman and CC Sabathia for the 7:05 start. 6:30 O's extra, and then Sunday will be Wade Miley against Michael Pineda, and that will be a 1:30 game. 1 o'clock O's extra on Masson and WJZ on Sunday. 0-2 pitch. Waiters goes the other way. They were not playing him in that alley. And that will go all the way to the wall. Ellsbury will go back to get it, and that will be a leadoff double for Matt Wieters.
A nice piece of hitting by Matt Wieters. 15th double this year. Nice way to start this inning off. A mistake. Elevated fastball. Wieters stepping into the plate, going the other way. A nice approach with 2 strikes.
So Matt gets himself in scoring position to start the 3rd inning. J.J. Hardy delivered a double in his at bat. Came around to score. So Goody getting touched up in a hurry here in this ball game. Orioles already 2 for 6 with runners in scoring position. Kirby Yates, he's going to get up in the bullpen. He too has been up and down with the Yankees. Another recall with the expanded roster. J.J. Hardy waiting on it, and will take the pitch for a strike. Orioles come in with a record of 28-25 against the Eastern Division teams. 0-1 delivery. Hardy, a looper. Ellsbury will get there. And 1 away. On Sunday, when the Orioles take on the Yankees 135 game, all fans are encouraged to bring new or gently used baseball equipment, part of the Oriole Advocates 2016 cardboard to leather collection presented by Legg Mason. Financial donations will be accepted. Shipping costs for this annual drive helping children in developing countries around the world are helped out by those financial donations. That's Sunday at 135 game. Bring some baseball equipment you got laying around you don't use anymore for those who'd love to have it. Kim flying out to center field, his first time up. And will take the pitch for a strike. The Yankees against the East are 21-28. The Yankees have won the fewest games against the East of any of the Eastern teams. Orioles are tied with Boston for the 2nd most wins against Eastern teams. Toronto is in the lead. They're 31-23. The Blue Jays are against Eastern opponents.
Well, the Orioles playing the American League East really well first half of the season. Second half, man, oh man, there's some inconsistencies. They've had trouble within their division. Big reason why dropped in the standings.
0-1 count with 1 down. Here the Orioles, what they've lost 5 straight series against division rivals, which they did not do in the first half when they were racking up series wins. Pitch is way up high by Goody, and a 1 ball 1 strike count. The Orioles led the division by 2 games at the All-Star break. 15 games over 500. Since then they've gone 21-25. Toronto's gone 25-17 and gained 6 games on the Orioles. 6 games since the All-Star break. Toronto's picked up on the O's. There you see how the months have gone, and now the Orioles were in great position for much of the year.
Yeah, sure were. I mean, amazing month of June, really catapulting them into the first place. Held on to it in July, and then kind of scuffling. The inconsistencies after the All-Star break carried over into August. Find themselves in 3rd.
Our Maryland Live Casino inside the numbers. Outstanding changeup by Goody right there. And Kim way out in front of that one, and a 2 ball 2 strike count. Sanchez will head out to talk to Goody.
Yeah, better get that slider down in the zone. You want to stay in this ball game. Of course, they could be talking about the signs with runner at second base. Maybe too nice of a swing from Kim, and the young catcher thinking maybe they're seeing the signs out at second base.
Matt Wieters. If you want anybody out there to pick up signs, having your catcher out there probably is as good as you're going to get. 2 ball, 2 strike count on Kim with 1 out. Trying to drive it to left field off the end of the bat and foul. Really trying to push that ball out there. Just a little too far away to be able to get enough of it.
You know, good job just to keep the AB alive, though, not trusting the breaking ball, just flicking it out there. Wait out a mistake.
Kim getting his second shot with a runner in scoring position. Did not get one in the second inning. That one he gets to left field, but it's going to stay up. Gardner puts it away, and there are 2 down. Well, September baseball is here, and our week of giveaways continues. Check out Masson Orioles on Facebook, Twitter, Snapchat, and Instagram all week long for chances to win autographed bats and jerseys and other Rose prizes. That's Masson Orioles for your chance to win. Just a gorgeous night here at the ballpark. You get a little hint of fall in the air. It's going to be that way hopefully for the weekend, with the storm hopefully going out off the coast and into the ocean. Adam Jones already 2 for 2. Adam an RBI on his last base hit and scored 2 singles in the ball game. Two down, runner at second, and Adam, as he's done in his first 2 at bats, goes after that first pitch. 1 strike count.
Well, one thing about Adam Jones is he's not going to lose his aggressiveness at the plate. He gets that bat going. He thinks a pitch is going to be in the zone. He's letting it rip.
0-1 the count. Back in the lineup after missing 5. Goodie's delivery to him, chases that slider away and tells you everything you need to know by his body language. Shouldn't have done that. Oh, that's okay.
That's all right.
I got another one coming.
Yeah, only the second strike.
You can see him saying that all to himself as he backed away from the plate. Wieters, not a big lead at second. Castro with a little shift on. Second baseman's right behind him. Let's see how close he is. Here's the 0-2 delivery on the way and goes upstairs and will get him. So Goody gets the strikeout. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 1 left on base. Orioles up 6-zip. National, providing innovative high-value dental and vision benefits to area employers and individuals. Smile. It's Friday. We hope you have a great weekend.
Enjoy. Don't drink and drive. School has already started for a number of kids. Jim Britton, our ninja camera.
Nice.
Jeff is our cameraman.
Yeah.
And nice sign. I love that.
Absolutely. He is the best ninja.
That's great. Here's Mark Teixeira. Teixeira flied out his first time up and chases the off-speed delivery away. Dylan Bundy now 8 out of 13 first pitch strikes. Pretty much where he likes to be. He does go by the book in that regard. Getting ahead in the count matters. Bundy, when he's got 2 strikes on the count, hitters are only 194 against him. He knows how to put hitters away. 1-1 delivery on the way. Teixeira again at a reach. 1-2.
Well, Dylan Bundy's got some great weapons. A couple good changeups right there to Teixeira with the live fastball. When he's locating it, moves it all around the plate. Really effective when it's at the top of the zone, and we've seen the nasty curveball Bundy possesses.
1-2 delivery into the shift. Jonathan Scope, big hop. Davis finds the bag, and they get the out. 4th inning of Orioles baseball brought to you by the RAV4 Hybrid, all-wheel drive and unexpected performance. Visit buyatoyota.com. Orioles on top. A 6-run 5-hit second inning has put them there. They've got 6 runs on 8 hits. They've left 4. The Yankees no runs 2 hits. They have left 3. Here is Gregorius. He grounded out his first time up. Bundy trying to shut down a Yankee team that had a great August offensively. Hardy. He's got it. Gregorius 0 for 2. Yankees averaged 5.9 runs a game in August, and they hit 42 home runs. Their biggest offensive month of the year by far. They had some red hot bats. Rejuvenated by the younger players inserted into the lineup. Bundy has held him to 2 hits so far.
Yeah, I think the youth movement really kind of lit a fire under a lot of the veteran players' butts because nobody was safe, right?
Yep.
Okay, Yankees aren't winning. You're out of here if you're not producing.
Headley's not playing third, right?
Oh my.
Yeah.
So look out. There's a lot more young Yankees.
Yeah, they were looking. I mean, in honesty, they were really looking ahead to next year with the changes they made. And then all of a sudden started winning so many games that, whoops, maybe we ought to come back to this year, because we're not out of this thing yet. And they're not. It's going to be a hard road for them to climb up to the wild card. Ground ball to first. Davis has got it. Bundy getting the job done. He retires the side in order for the second time in 4 innings. Orioles up 6-0.
Orioles looking to even up the season series against the Yankees, and right now up 6-0 here at Camden Yards, and a new pitcher for New York.
Yankees having to go to their bullpen early. This will be the second arm out of the Yankees bullpen. Kirby Yates, take a look at his pitch arsenal. The fastball 60% of the time. Low to mid-90s with the heater. What's new? A little 3/4 arm slot though. Slider change curve to go along with it. His 37th appearance out of the Yankees bullpen. 5.40 earned run average. 44 punch-outs on the year for Yates. Opponents hitting .263 overall. Lefties containing them. .204 batting average. Righties up to .295.
Yates appeared in the middle game in New York, went an inning, gave up a couple of hits and 1 run in the inning worked in New York. Yates was just called up today. He's been up and down. Third stint with the Yankees. He was actually had been assigned to Pulaski in the rookie league. That's just a paper move. He didn't do anything with Pulaski, and I suspect never went there. At AAA, he went 0-1, 4 saves during the year. Pedro Alvarez will take the pitch down low for a ball. The Orioles, their big second inning, highlighted by a Jones RBI single, a 2-run homer. Alvarez, Davis picking up his 33rd, a 2-run homer, back-to-back home runs with Trumbo, who followed with his 41st. And the Orioles 6 runs, 5 hits in that inning, and that's where we are with a 6-0 lead. Pitch, Alvarez will take that one. Alvarez, a strikeout along with the home run, number 20 on the year for Pedro.
You can see Pedro's power zone, that red touching all the quadrants of the plate.
Kirby Yates, 2-0 delivery, and a tremendous changeup. Had him out in front of it. 2-ball, 1 strike count. Yates has been all over the place. He was designated for assignment by Cleveland last year and then picked up by the Yankees for cash. He bounced around last year with Tampa, AAA, Tampa and Charlotte. Cleveland picked him up when he was assigned by Tampa Bay. So he's been assigned, picked up, designated for assignment, picked up for cash.
Yeah, he's always had good minor league numbers, but inconsistent at the major league level.
Got a 3-ball, 1 strike count here, and we'll walk him. That one went off Sanchez's shin guard, I think, out towards first base. So Alvarez is on a leadoff walk for the Orioles here in the 4th inning. 3rd walk they've picked up in the ball game. That'll bring up Manny Machado. Manny's got 2 of those free passes. As happens when a game gets started like this, maybe because the game is like this, the Yankees look very flat.
Yeah, they do.
Juice just got taken out of them, and the Orioles wrapped away in that 2nd inning.
Yeah, and you hope you can kind of keep this going through this series against the Yankees. Do not want to let this young team come back to life. Orioles got to pick up their play here at Camden Yards. It's been so good all year long up until recently. Had some problems here at home.
Manny Machado. Oh my! Play back in left field. Manny Machado. Goodbye. Home run. And the Orioles have their 4th home run in this ball game, as Machado just unloads against Kirby Yates, and it's another 2 RBI homer.
Impressive swing right there from Manny Machado. Hunt down the American League MVP, 33rd home run of the year.
I mean, we have had some shots launched in this game. All of them. All 4 of the home runs hit by the Orioles in this ball game could have gone off at Cape Canaveral. Chris Davis had one of those.
Take a look at Manny's swing here. Looked like he tried to throw a cutter, but backed up, stayed elevated, middle of the plate, and Machado, wow, is that a picture perfect home run swing? Perfect balance. Short to the baseball. 450 feet away. Man.
0-1 count on Davis. He got his 33rd in the second inning. And Chris will take the pitch for his strike. A good night to be the Maryland Lottery contestant of the game, who happens to be Mary Dodson. It's $500 for each of those home runs. Chris has homered, struck out. The home run got him out of an 0 for 15 he'd been in. Breaking ball taken inside.
How about this? Jeep inside the numbers. All or nothing for Chris Davis since 2012. 23 home runs against the Yankees, most in Major League Baseball. How about 113 strikeouts against the Yankees, most by any player versus any opponent. So Chris Davis, yeah, all or nothing. 191 home runs since 2012. 931 punch-outs.
That one he got on top of and fouled it off. So 1 ball, 2 strike count. Crowd still buzzing. Orioles have 9 hits. 4 of them have been home runs. And for the fans here, a chance to see, want to see some long balls hit. They have seen it here tonight. 1-2 delivery will be up high. And Kirby Yates goes 2-2 on Chris Davis.
Well, this is the winning formula for the Orioles, right? Home runs, great pitching.
Good D, and they got good D first 2 innings. Orioles had a couple of big defensive plays. Swung on and foul tipped by Chris. And the count stays at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Cleveland's got a 4-0 lead. They're playing against Miami midway through their ball game. Indians looking for a post-season berth in their division. And they lead by 4.5 over the Tigers. And Davis is gone on a called strike.
Yates had to work hard for this one, but finally hitting his spot down and away. See the good 2-seam run. 93 miles an hour. Picking up that outside corner.
I'll bring up Mike Trumbo. Trumbo's 41st delivered in the second inning. So Mark now with 41. Encarnacion's got 36. Chris Davis moves up in the home run chase with his 33rd. That'll move him into 6th place. Manny Machado and he are tied. They came in tied at 32, and they've each got 1 here in this ball game. Yates with the 0-1 delivery. Trumbo inside out down the line and right. Judge, the tight end in foul territory, will not have a play on it. And it's 0-2. Right up against the seats. There is Mandy, the Orioles leader in most offensive categories this season. Trumbo's had the home run RBI lead. Manny has led the Orioles in runs and hits virtually the entire season. Manny's got the best slugging percentage on the Orioles, most multi-hit games and most extra base hits.
Yeah, pretty amazing consistency on Manny Machado.
0-2 pitch will come inside. Trumbo pulls the hands back in, and the count goes to 1-2. But the 4 home runs in this game now, that's 213 on the year. 117 hit here at Camden Yards and 96 on the road. Trumbo had to get that one off the end of the bat. Gardner, and he's got it. Mike Trumbo retired, and there are 2 away here in the 4th inning. Jonathan Scope would like to join the hit parade. He and Kim are the 2 who need to get hits in the starting lineup to be actively involved. A couple of strikeouts for Jonathan. Jonathan has not had success against the Yankees this year, hitting about .220 right now with a home run, 5 RBIs against New York pitching. Fouled that one back, and an 0-1 count. But don't forget the defensive plays early. Gardner getting picked off first base after a leadoff single. Wieters got him. And then Castro, a hard ground ball that Jonathan Scope robbed him of a hit in the second inning when there was only one away. Those were big plays before the Orioles had their offensive second inning. Oh, that would have hit him between the eyes. Somehow fouled it off.
Had to swing at it. Yeah, stop from hitting him. A little two-seam change. He gave that look. Yeah, I had to swing, coach. It was going to hit me.
And hit me right in the chest.
Yeah.
Kirby Yates with the 0-2. Scope puts that one towards center. Ellsbury over. Gets on the trampoline, hauls it in. Orioles pick up a couple of runs. They do it on one hit, no errors, nobody left. Manny Machado after the walk to Alvarez. Number 33. 8-0 Orioles. Day around Major League Baseball, launching the league-wide effort to raise childhood cancer awareness. All of the ball clubs in their home games tonight participating. Players, coaches, umpires, ground crew members wearing the gold ribbon decals and wristbands to promote awareness of childhood cancer. It is the leading cause of death by disease in kids aged 15 and under in the United States. See the armbands, the gold. Manny Machado's got the gold shoes on. You've noticed the umpires have the gold bands on their arms, as Chris Starr's right there at first base. The umpires have it. All about the fight against cancer affecting children. Ryan McCann takes the pitch on the inside corner. Strikeout victim his first time up. Bundy has walked 2, struck out 4. Only 2 hits. A Gardner single and an Ellsbury base hit. The Yankees have had only 1 runner to second base in the ball game. And the count goes 1-2 on McCann.
And Dylan Bundy has made some adjustments. Obviously, last start against the Yankees, not what he had hoped, only lasting the 4 innings. But certainly, it's more impressive this start. Command of everything.
Bounce to Hardy in the shift. Hands out of there, 1 down in the 5th inning. On Friday, September 23, the Orioles kick off Fan Appreciation Weekend, this year's final fireworks night, presented by Johns Hopkins Advantage MD, and celebrate the final home weekend series of the regular season. The O's will be hosting the Diamondbacks. Stick around after the game for the beautiful fireworks display. Tickets are going fast. You can get yours at Orioles.com. Pitch again is going to be down low. Chase Headley lined out to first base. His first time up. The Yankees switch hitting third baseman. 268 right, 252 left-handed. He's picked up 12 home runs, and 9 of those have come from this side of the plate.
Now, what's going to happen to Headley?
Good question.
In the future.
Yankees will have decisions to make in the offseason, spurred on by the young players. They'll get to finish out a month here and see if it's for real. Pitch is taken for a strike, and the count goes to 3-1. Headley trying to get the walk here if he can.
Yeah, Girardi and his coaching staff certainly this month is going to be full of evaluation of his own team.
Yep.
And these are the kind of guys that you want on the field next year. They'll go for the title in the American League East. These young guys, are they proven enough? I mean, I think the Yankees kind of keeping their fingers crossed here in the month of September. Yeah, they've made a nice push through August, but so many of these young players unproven, no true track record, to hang their hat on. So you kind of see what you have, and certainly doing a good job up to this point.
Yeah. Short time span. They'll get the month and do it under a little pressure, playing in a playoff atmosphere. Judge struck out his first time up. Aaron Judge, Linden, California. Talked about his size, listed at 6'7", 255 pounds. Played college ball at Fresno State, 3 seasons there. Long ball hitter, as you might expect. Cape Cod League player. Well, making his way into professional baseball. It's only his 4th year in the pros. 1-1 delivery on the way, and the pitch is taken down low. A 2-ball 1-strike count on Judge.
Did he play other sports? Did he play football in college?
No, it doesn't look like it. I mean, he went to a school where baseball is taken pretty seriously, and usually when you do that, you don't play other sports.
Right.
Runner on at first base with 1 out. 2-1 delivery on the way. Fouls that one away. By sheer size, he can hit a baseball hard and far. But to his credit, I mean, he had some pretty good numbers. 281 career minor league hitter. Number of extra base hits. 50 doubles in the first couple of years in the minors. 2-ball, 2-strike count. 1 away, leadoff batter Brett Gardner on deck. Bundy's 2-2 delivery to him. That'll be fouled away. I haven't asked him. I got to ask him tomorrow why he chose number 99. That's not a number you'd necessarily be assigned. I mean, the Yankees have a lot of retired numbers, but there's still some left below 50.
Yeah.
See if he was a Gretzky fan or not. 2-2 delivery on the way, and Bundy gets him to go after 1 out. In front of it, 5 strikeouts for Dylan.
Boy, what a great changeup by Dylan Bundy. You can tell Aaron Judge a little trying to gear up to hit the fastball. Take a look at the Nissan pitch track. How about the location of these 4 pitches? All bottom of the strike zone. Great arm sell with the changeup. Judge well out in front for strike 3.
So 2 down. Chase Headley remains on at first base with Gardner, the left-hander of Davis, will come off the bag. Headley not a base stealer, so Chris will take a couple of steps to cut that hole down between first and second base. Gardner takes the pitch. It is there for a strike, a base hit, and a walk for Brett Gardner. The Yankees came in against the Orioles hitting .286 as a team this year in the first 13 games played. By far their highest batting average against any other team in the East. But Bundy's limited them to 2 base hits. 0-1 delivery on the way, and a chopper to the middle. Hardy's got that one, guns it over, and gets Gardner. No runs, no hits, no errors, and 1 left on base. The Orioles go to the bottom of the 5th up 8-0.
Trending page, the Mariners, who a couple of weeks ago were making a run at it, now have lost 8 of their last 9. Their starters 1-6, ERA over 6, looking to avoid their 6th straight loss tonight. The Giants lost to the Cubs today 2-1. In fact, they were no hit through 7. They are 15-29 since the All-Star break, the worst in the majors. And the Marlins snapped a 5-game skid, looking to win 2 in a row for the first time in 2 weeks. They too trying to make a wild card run. And Seattle's now 4 games out of the wild card spot. Miami's 3 out of the wild card spot in the National League. My Nana doesn't know I'm going to be a big bro. I think we just broadcast a secret.
I think Nana just passed out.
Nana may need a little help.
What?
Yeah, we add that to the people asking to get married on television and at the ballpark. Now we got one announcing births, or pregnancies anyway. That is fouled off by Matt Wieters. There they are. Made the big announcement. He should be on his cell phone. I got to imagine it's ringing.
Right? Yeah. That's great.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. 1 and 2. Clear half that bedroom. In come the bunks. And foul back by Wieters. Matt with a double his last time, up 1 for 2 in the ball game. There's the phone. There it is. It's ringing. Where's the phone? Wait a minute.
Oh, got a real ball.
Oh,
nice.
Wow. That's for your little brother. That's right. Hang on to that. 1-2 delivery. Fernando.
Yeah.
2 ball, 2 strike count. Went to the ballpark. I announced a birth, and I'm bringing you a baseball now. 2-2 delivery on the way, and Matt goes the other way and foul. Cubs did win today over the Giants. Cubs have now won 28 of their last 35. I mean, what a year. Their magic number is now 14. Cubs wins, Cardinals losses equal 14. They win their first division title since 2008. 2 ball, 2 strike delivery on the way, and jammed him with a good pitch. And Yates will get a strikeout. That'll be his second.
Well, Yates showing some pretty good life on his fastball, locating it pretty well here at the 2-seamer, starting off at that front hip. And Wieters keeping the front side closed, but look at that extra life on the heater, riding up through the top of the zone. Pretty good pitch.
That'll bring J.J. Hardy up. 1 down, 5th inning, double, run scored, fly to center field. Orioles chasing Chad Green, the Yankees starter, 4 runs, 5 hits, an inning and 2/3, left with an elbow problem, pain in his pitching elbow. Nick Goody came on, 2 runs, 3 hits, an inning and a 1/3 with 2 strikeouts, and now Yates. And the pitch to Hardy will be taken up high. It's just amazing how much of a difference it's made where these 2 teams are playing one another as to what the games look like.
Right.
Each has tremendous home field advantage so far this year. 1 ball, 1 strike delivery on the way, and foul back. And the Yankees in that series in New York just exploded for runs, 14-4 in the first game, and then 13-5 in the second. They had 18 hits in each of those first 2 games before the Orioles came back. And what did they do? They shut them out 5-0. I mean, it's just been all over the place in this matchup. 1-2 delivery towards third base. Chase Headley. 2 down. They'll go beyond the stadium and discover Venice on Florida's Gulf Coast. Recently recognized as one of the top 2 happiest seaside towns in America for 2015 by Coastal Living magazine. Plan now to visit. Go to visitsarasota.org. So we start turning to that time of year when being in Sarasota is very nice. 2 down. Young-Soo Kim. He has flied out twice, center and left.
Yeah, so Buck Showalter sliding Kim down to the 9 hole. And I wonder why this might be. Well, how about the on-base percentage by Kim? You want to find ways to try to keep turning this lineup over. And Kim's been impressive most of the year. On-base percentage up around 400. It's dipped down a little bit here recently, but a pretty good number 9 hole hitter.
Game number 10 this year in which Kim has batted in that number 9 spot. Showalter over the last couple of weeks has really juggled the lineups. 0-2 pitch on the way into the shift. Shortstop will make the play, and that will retire the side. Orioles up 8-0. Nana, get up. Our Birdland hero is Dr. Yoram Unguru, who is responsible for bringing a camp for children with cancer to the Baltimore area. He is the camp's medical director. It provides for children just a chance to live carefree, enjoy the days, and experience the joys of childhood. He is the one who made that camp possible. He is involved with the hospitals at Sinai and Hopkins, and our thanks and congratulations to him for a great, worthy effort. And if you'd like to nominate someone for the Orioles hero here at the ballpark, there you go. Go to Orioles.com/heroes.
It's been pretty fun all summer long.
Yeah.
Seeing the community heroes do so much here for the Baltimore area.
0-1 count. Jacoby Ellsbury leading it off. 6th inning, a base hit called out on strikes. Tampa taking the 4-2 lead now over Toronto. Grounded down to first, fair ball off the bag. Nice concentration. Chris Davis is that one. Could have taken a hop by him, but he stayed with it.
Chris has made some good plays here in this ball game. And you said it. Great concentration. A little tester going down by the first base bag. Might even clipped it. But Chris Davis corralling that one, making it look pretty easy.
Orioles D solid here in this game. The Orioles came in 3rd in defense in the American League, fielding percentage wise. Here's Gary Sanchez in the number 3 spot. He's drawn a walk and he has struck out. Dylan Bundy gets the pitch in there for a strike at 75, mixing them up. There is Holder, one of their big prospects, Jonathan Holder, right-hander. And Hart is up for the Orioles. 0-1 delivery on the way, and that's going to be a strike in the outside corner. Bundy's really cruising along here with very effective control of his fastball and a good breaking ball.
Yeah, he is looking very sharp on all his pitches for strikes. Wieters mixing it up very well, in and out, changing speeds.
Bundy is working on an extra day's rest. Second time he's had a start on 5 days rest. First time he gave up no runs and worked 7 innings. Just 1 hit. Well, he really has done well with the extra days rest this year, and that would make sense in light of the innings he hasn't pitched in his career. 1 ball, 2 strike count on Sanchez. Infield shifted around. Goes the other way, foul.
Well, there's been a lot of talk about the Orioles team and the confidence that the team seems to be taking onto the field. Well, a big night like tonight is a good way to get the swagger back through the month of September. Good way to start it off with the home runs. Great pitching. Quick foul ball up into the stands right there. Kind of makes everybody go quiet. See the pitch track trying to work up and away.
Popped up in the air in foul territory. Davis, and he'll get there. There are 2 down. Annual fan favorite is returned. 2017 Orioles Pet Calendar presented by Pet ER. On sale at Orioles.com/pet calendar here at the ballpark, the official team store in New York. Proceeds benefit Barks, the Baltimore Animal Rescue and Care Shelter. 16 months on the calendar, so get yours. You can find out about it at Orioles.com/pet calendar. Two down, nobody on. Mark Teixeira, and he'll take the pitch outside. He has grounded out and flied out. Single by Gardner starting the ball game, and then the 3rd inning a single by Ellsbury. That's it. Yankees offense. Then 3 walks, which is going to miss. Count goes to 3-0 to Teixeira. D.D. Gregorius waiting on deck. .30 and taken. Bundy just lays that one in there for a strike. Dillon with a better ERA here at home. About a 1.5 difference. 3.04 at home, 4.54 on the road. 3-1 delivery. And Milwaukee, that'll be walk number 4. 2 down. And that'll be it. So Dylan Bundy's going to come out of the ball game with a big lead, wanting to save the arm. This is about pitcher management. So Dillon will come out of the game. He'd prefer to stay in, go a little further, but the Orioles prefer to keep the arm for another day.
Geico highlights. Here we go. Starting the month of September, somebody's got to step up. Is it going to be Dylan Bundy? Well, quite a performance by Bundy. Great fastball here to get Ellsbury down and in with the heater. 3 heaters up and in to get McCann. But the breaking ball was tight as well. Dylan Bundy keeping his team in this ball game. Waiting for the offense to explode. They certainly did, but Bundy's line very solid. 5 2/3. Only the 2 hits, 4 walks, 5 punch outs for Dylan Bundy. Pretty impressive performance. Geico, 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. Visit geico.com for a free rate quote. Donnie Hart now in out of the O's bullpen. Nothing on the board for an earned run average for Hart. That slinging sidearmer from the left side has been able to control the lefties. 217. All right, he's up to 300.
Gregorius, the challenge for any lefty. And he'll get him to pop that one up to second base. Scope is there, and he's got it. And Gregorius is retired. 1 left on here in the 6th inning with a walk. Our Honda do-ups: Adam Jones, Pedro Alvarez, Manny Machado coming up. In 2012, the Orioles moved to within 2 games of the Yankees with an 8-3 win at Yankee Stadium. The Yankees trying to do that to the Orioles here in 16. And in 99, Cal, the 29th major league player to hit his 400. Big crowd was on hand to watch and celebrate it as he juiced one, pulling it down the line in left, and the big board lit up with number 400. The many magic milestones passed by Cal Ripken Jr.
Yeah, Cal Ripken Jr. of course changing that shortstop position and actually the game, right? I mean, He is the biggest shortstop to play out there offensively, a defensive wizard as well.
Well, we're going to see a major league debut in this game. He's on the mound.
How about Jonathan Holder? How about his minor league numbers? 42 games, 5 wins, just a 1.65 earned run average, 101 punch outs in 65 1/3 innings. That's pretty good, isn't it? Yeah. Good stuff coming out of this young right-hander's arm.
He's out of Gulfport, Mississippi, and went to Mississippi State. Big prospect. He was a 6th-round pick 2014, but he has just flown through the minor leagues. And Jonathan Holder was not signed to a major league contract prior to today. They signed him to the major league deal and then brought him up from AAA. So there's the first pitch of his major league career for the Yankees. Adam Jones, 2 singles, and he has struck out. Adam has picked up an RBI, and he has scored a run. 0-1 delivery to him, 92 down and away, and an 0-2 count.
You know, this is why managers fill up their bullpen in September. They keep the A arms obviously fresh down the stretch, but some of the minor league arms get a good look at.
Heat upstairs that time, so foul tipped into the mitt. Adam Jones trying to take the ball away from Sanchez because he knew it was going to be thrown to the dugout for Holder to keep.
With that little natural cut on the fastball, 94 miles an hour. You saw him turn the ball a little bit. Jones getting a piece, but Sanchez able to hold on.
He's only 23 years old, turning 23 in June. Holder was born, raised in Gulfport, Mississippi, and then 3 seasons at Mississippi State, where he had an ERA of 1.59, working out of the bullpen for him. Pitch on the way. We'll be taking inside our Lexus of Towson drive of the game.
How about the Bull getting on a fastball? Great at bat here. And he finally gets a heater, and onto Utah Street it goes.
Drive of the game brought to you by Lexus of Towson, the area's #1 luxury dealer. Come see why at lexusoftowson.com. 1 ball, 1 strike count. There's the marker that's been put out there, and there'll be a plate inserted on Utah Street to mark that home run. 1-1 delivery on the way, and that one is going to be fouled back.
Pretty special home run there. Obviously Alvarez's 20th, but the 6th Oriole. 20 or more home runs this season.
I always have fun with a security guard I go by every night out there who's responsible for that, marking them. He really has to be aware of what's going on in the game. Takes it very seriously, especially when the left-handers come up. Fouled off outside of first base. He stands out there. He's a security guard and helps folks coming up and down Utah Street. And then when the ball's hit like that, he marks it immediately, puts the mark, and then they get the plate that goes in. Fans love that. So many of them out there before, during, after games, taking pictures of their heroes' home runs and where they hit. 1-2 delivery on the way, and that one slips away, and a 2 ball, 2 strike count. Yates worked a couple of innings, gave up 1 hit, but that 1 hit was a 2-run homer. So he was charged with the 2 runs on a hit with a walk and 2 strikeouts. That one blistered into the outfield, handled by Castro, did the 360 in the shift, and they get Alvarez. Well, that was hit.
Unfair game sometimes. And this ball, loud noise off the bat. Alvarez's top hand has been working viciously near the second half of the season. Tough luck, though. Castro able to snag this one in shallow right field.
So 2 down, and Jonathan Holder, chance to have a 1-2-3 inning in his major league debut. The 23-year-old started at Single-A this year. Single-A Tampa, Double-A Trenton, Triple-A Scranton, all this year, now at the majors. He had a combined minor league 5-1, 16 saves, ERA 1.65, 42 relief appearances. 0-1 the count. Manny Machado, breaking ball, stood him up but didn't get in the strike zone. Manny's been on base all 3 times, 2 walks, and his 33rd home run in the 4th inning, bringing in Alvarez ahead of him. Right-handers 1-1 delivery on the way. 1-2.
Good stuff. Yeah, hard slider right there, 89 miles an hour. Got the slow breaking ball. He's been moving his fastball around a little bit. And you like the fact that the Yankees, you know, they kept challenging him. He was dominating a level. Here, move up to Double-A. Try it there. Do well there. Try the next level. And he is finding himself in the major leagues.
We are in that day and age where if you pitch well, you're going to get moved along. There's no waiting.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Holder's a prime example of that. Pitching desperately needed at the major league level. Foul back on a big cut by Manny Machado. And a 2 ball, 2 strike count. The Orioles with 4 home runs tonight. This season they've had as many as 7 in a game. That was against Boston back in June. And that was 1 shy of the all-time home runs in a single game, 8 last year against Philadelphia. Breaking ball that
came back in that time. 3-2.
Sometimes the toughest, the best pitch in the game, the backup breaking ball. Hitters expect it to kind of break down over the plate when it backs up a little bit. A lot of broken bats, a lot of taken backed up breaking balls for strikes.
3-2 delivery on the way. Manny a chopper. He let it go. Gregorius got him at first base. Manny thought he was safe. Buck saying, hang on a minute. I'd like the video. Look at this. Close play. Holder thought about trying to cut it off, decided better of it. And that's what Buck's video folks are taking a look at. Buck has not made a decision on whether to challenge or not here. Manny came across the bag signaling he was safe. Nope, gonna let it go. So a good start for Holder as he retires the side in order. We've completed 6 8-0 O's. Houston, a game out of the wild card. Tough upcoming schedule with the Rangers, Indians, Cubs, and then the Rangers again. The Tigers tied with the Orioles for the wild card, playing the Royals, who are 3 games out. Duffy, Ventura, and Gee, 3 of the reasons the Royals are right back in it. Tigers send out Sanchez, Fulmer, and Norris. The lowest opponent win percentage in the American League the rest of the way. The Rangers, Tigers, and Royals in that order in what you would say, and I never like to use the term easiest schedule because they aren't. Right. But lowest win percentage, those are the teams that have those. Tigers have a 4-1 lead in their ball game tonight. So you're getting now games like this one where you've got a chance almost to put teams away as far as a chance to go to the postseason.
Yeah. So many teams in control of their own destiny, really.
Yep.
I mean, pretty exciting. This is what it's all about. And I think, every team, even teams that like the Cubs, starting off the year, considered a favorite, but put your nose to the grindstone. When you look up in September, you hope you have an opportunity, and that's the way the Orioles have to look at it. Yeah, they've had some inconsistencies, and they've been at the top, for a few months this season. But this is the opportunity you look for, a chance to play in the postseason. All these teams kind of bottlenecking now here in the month of September. Can the Orioles get on a nice little run? Just like what all the other teams are thinking. We need to get on a good run. We need to play more consistently.
2-1 delivery on the way to Castro, down to third. Manny Machado along the line in the dirt. Another great pick by Davis. For the Orioles defense, making no mistakes in this ball game. Castro retired.
Oh, Manny Machado, nice play, backing up, getting the hop he wants, unleashing the cannon, and Chris Davis has looked so good at first base. How low can you go? That is how you get the eyes behind a baseball. Davis has done it all year long. Good to see him smiling about that. He has saved probably 15 errors for his Orioles infield this year.
Yep. One down here. Here's Brian McCann, 7th inning. McCann 0 for 2 has struck out, grounded out. Donnie Hart came on, got the final out, 6th inning on 1 pitch. Tampa Bay has got a 5-2 lead over Toronto, 7th inning. Cobb 2 runs, 4 hits, 5 innings for Toronto. Stroman gave up, 3 runs, 5 hits over 6 in that ball game. So Tampa Bay leading it by a score of 5-2. Cobb getting the job done for the Rays.
There it is, that pitching talking about.
They've added another 6-2 now. Tampa over Toronto. 1 ball, 1 strike count on McCann. In relief of Bundy, no runs, 2 hits, 5 2/3 innings for Dillon. And the pitch will be taken inside by Bryant. McCann hitting only .211 against the lefties this year. Ochoa looking at that lineup, seeing these kind of bats in there, bringing on the left-hander. 2-1. And that's what that delivery does to you.
Yeah, just nasty breaking ball. I'm really letting go of it. Seems like in the Orioles dugout. Cross-body delivery. And if he can locate that slider on the outside corner, if there's any leak with the hip or front shoulder from a lefty.
Tried to hang in off the end of the bat, though. Hart will run it over and make the flip for the out. 2 down, 7th inning. Orioles baseball on Masson, brought to you by Southwest. Transparency, low fares, nothing to hide. And by Antwerpen Toyota. Get in the game this season with a new Toyota from Antwerpen Toyota. And by First National Bank, redefining convenience in banking. Gorgeous night here. Gary Thorne, Mike Bordy, great to have you with us. Orioles opening up against the Yankees. A 6-run, 5-hit 2nd inning. And then a 2-run homer by Manny Machado in the 4th. And the Orioles, the 8 runs and 9 hits. And Dylan Bundy doing the rest, shutting down the Yankees. Pitch will be taken outside. Chase Headley has drawn a walk and he is lined out. Yankees came in having won a couple of 1-run ball games, extra inning games against Kansas City. Pitch taken for a strike. They have moved to 22-9 in 1-run games. They're going to have one of the best records in franchise history in 1-run games. This is not one of those games. Shift on in the infield. 1-1 delivery on the way. That's going to be in the inside corner.
Good pitch. This is a really good opportunity for Hart to improve on matchups against righties. A chance for him to show Buck Showalter, build that trust, and keep him in there for an inning or 2.
1-2 delivery will be hit into the shift. Jonathan Scope. Good inning. Retires the side in order. 7th inning stretch time here at Camden Yards. The Orioles lead at 8-0. Red Sox are going to be playing at the A's. David Price will look for number 14. Andrew Triggs, Oakland, trying to be the spoiler there. Boston's going to call up their number 1 prospect, their infielder, Yohan Moncada. He is a top prospect in all of baseball, according to MLB.com. I mean, he has been moved recently in the minors from second to third base. Red Sox have a need there, and he may get some playing time if he produces.
Well, they keep coming up with these young players, these young superstars.
He's a good one, minor league number wise, and certainly highly touted. Speaking of good ones, how about this one? 90-year-old Orioles fan. Did he come with Nana to the ballgame? Are they related? Congratulations and thanks.
Our Yankees bringing in a new pitcher here, Luis Severino. Take a look at his pitch arsenal. The fastball 56% of the time. Another power arm, mid to high 90s with the fastball. And a slider to go along with it. Occasional changeup. See that 7.19 earned run average this season. Just recently called up here. The opponent's hitting .304 overall. Righty's .330 batting average. Lefty .281. So it's all about command and location right now. Just throwing. Just 22 years old. So trying to learn here in the month of September what it's going to take to pitch at the major league level.
Severino got his chance early in the season with the Yankees, and it didn't go well. Made 9 starts, went 0-8, and had an ERA of 8.58. Yikes. And he last appeared in the majors in relief against the Mets on August 3rd. Third stint with the Yankees this season. He went down, made 12 starts at AAA, along with 1 reliever. 1 in relief. Vance Worley you saw in the bullpen for the Orioles. So Severino's delivery will be taking for a strike. We're seeing about everybody the Yankees brought up today. Rod Refsnyder and Eric Young. The other 2 the Yankees used called up today for the expanded roster. We haven't seen them yet. We may still get a chance, however. Holder, major league debut, went an inning, retired all 3, and had a strikeout. Pitch will be taken up high. Davis, the home run, is 33rd in the second inning. 2 RBIs off it. Has struck out a couple of times. Chris will be followed by Trumbo and Scope. Orioles bat bottom of the 7th inning with the big 8-0 lead. That one under his back foot. Dances across the plate on it. With Severino, everything's in a hurry. The delivery's in a hurry. He's in a hurry. Just rushes pitches up to the plate.
Right. And 22 years old, so you know the game's moving along pretty fast. Not only just by his body actions out there on the mound, but so many young players. The key and the goal, I think, for all players at the major league level, try to get it to slow down. And it doesn't just happen. It happens through repetition and experience.
Sanchez, the young rookie catcher, tried to slow him down. He called for a timeout for that last pitch in order to try and get him to back off just a little bit. So a youngster behind the plate and 1 on the mound. 3-2 delivery on the way, and Chris, that looked like a nasty slider in, is out of there. Tagged out to be sure.
Well, a live loose arm, so you got to gear up to hit the fastball. How about the hard slider? 88 miles an hour. Looks like the fastball coming out of his hand. At the end, that sharp tilt to get Chris Davis.
Severino gets you out. There's 1 away. That pitch will be taken in the dirt. Mark Trumbo is major league leading 41st home run, second inning, 2 RBIs. He has picked up a base hit, and he is flied out 2 for 3 in the ball game. And Mark went around, said the home plate umpire, Carlos Torres. 1 ball, 1 strike count. Winning this one, and the season series between these 2 ball clubs will be tied at 7. 1-1 is chopped to short. Gregorius finds it. Gets the out. This copyrighted telecast presented by authority of the Orioles may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Orioles. 4-homer ball game. Great start by Bundy, and the Orioles defense rising to the occasion early. The Orioles have built up the lead. First ball hitting popped up first base to Sheriff. Off the bat of Scope. Will get it in foul territory in a 1-2-3 inning. 7 complete. Camden Yards, game 1 of the 3-game set against the Yankees. 8-0 O's.
Time brought to you by Miller Lite. Well, Gardner starts the game off with a single. Matt Wieters keeping an eye on him. How about the back pick to take the wind out of the Yankees' sails? The Yankees looking to make the first mark of the ball game. Wieters got different ideas. Great play by Davis with the tag as well to thwart the Yankees rally. Good way to get things going for the O's. They go on to score some runs. Yeah, Orioles with the 8-0 lead here in the top of the 8th. Vance Worley now into the ball game. Take a look at the pitch arsenal. Fastball 74%. Some deception in the delivery helps that fastball play up, and he can cut it. He can change speeds with the fastball as well. Very solid year. This will be his 31st appearance. He's made 4 starts for the O's. Opponent's hitting .265 overall.
So we're going to get to see some of the new Orioles as Michael Bourne's come on to play in center field. Jones is out. Drew Stubbs is in right field for Mark Trumbo, and Caleb Joseph back behind the plate as Matt Wieters will come out here in the 8th inning. So the Orioles get to rest some of the starters who will be in there again tomorrow night. Worley's delivery is taken inside for a ball. Vance making his 4th appearance against the Yankees this year. He had 1 start against them. He's given up 8 runs, 14 hits, and 8 2/3 innings against the Yankees. Aaron Judge on a slow roller to Machado. And he is retired 0 for 3 in the ball game. Follow Orioles baseball live with MLB.com at Bat app. Stay up to the moment any moment. Game day, live game video highlights, StatCast news, and more. Download MLB.com at Bat, #1 app for live baseball for your phone or tablet. Top of the order, and Brett Gardner. Gardner, a base hit, a walk, and he's grounded out. Ellsbury's had a base hit. Those are the only 2 hits the Yankees have, and they were in the 1st and 3rd innings of this ball game. And the pitch will be taken for a strike by Gardner. Blake Parker, whom the Orioles faced in New York, in the bullpen. September baseball and call-ups, you need an elongated scorecard. That one is taken inside. And a 1-ball, 1-strike count. Vance Worley, who has been called on in so many roles for the Orioles, short, long relief, starter, middle of ball games, and has really done a great job for the Orioles in that regard.
Yeah, I mean, had to battle his way to make the team out of spring training.
Yep.
And showed the kind of pro he is. Worked hard. Didn't have any questions. This has done everything and anything but Showalter has asked.
Got him. Gardner knew it, didn't like it, but all he could do is put his head down. That'll be the first strikeout for Worley.
When Worley's going right, his fastball, everything looks the same until there. Right just in front of home plate. Gardner thinking this ball's going to cut in under the hands. Look at it work itself back over the plate. Beautiful movement by Vance Worley. Caleb Joseph not even moving the glove.
Orioles with a chance to gain ground on the division leader, probably. 8-2, Rays leading Toronto, and they are playing in the top of the 8th inning in Tampa. Jacoby Ellsbury 0-1 the count here, 1 for 3 in the ball game. Oriole pitching has been on the money. Bundy, Hart came on and worked an inning in the 3rd. He got all 4 batters that he faced. 1-1 pitch on the way, and did he go new? Todd Titchener down at third base. 2 ball 1 strike count.
Well, the Orioles and the Orioles fans kind of waiting for this team to really put everything together and do it consistently. Have a nice stretch. Well, this is a good way to start the month against the Yankees. Somebody sneaking up on their heels. Of course, so many division games here in the month of September, but great pitching, great hitting, great defense. I mean, man, when all 3 of those things work, this Orioles team, I'm the best in the game.
That'll go out to left field, where Kim will camp under it and put it away. And a 1-2-3 inning by Worley. We'll go to the bottom of the 8th. The Orioles up 8-0. PNC Bank, for the achiever in you. And by American Standard Heating and Air. For the best in home comfort, choose the brand voted #1. American Standard Heating and Air. Right now, get special financing. Find your dealer at MidAtlanticComfort.com. Gary Thorne and Mike Bordick back as we go to the bottom half of the 8th inning. As Buck Showalter did, the Yankees going to make some changes starting right there.
Blake Parker into the ball game. Take a look at his pitch arsenal. The fastball 66% of the time. Low 90s with the heater. Has a curve and split finger go along with it. 3.60 earned run average this season. His 9th appearance for the Yankees. 6 punch outs. 9 hits in 10 innings of work. Opponent's hitting .225 overall. His goal, obviously, get ahead and then get to that split finger for his out pitch.
Parker appeared against the Orioles in Game 1 in New York. Worked an inning, had 1 strikeout. Blake Parker will work here in the bottom half of the 8th inning. And the Oriole fans, we're going to take a look at Michael Bourn. Bourn will get his first at bat as an Oriole.
He's hitting in Matt Wieters' spot. Wieters had a double, went 1 for 3 in the ball game. And the pitch to him is taken for a strike. Bourne brings some speed to the Orioles, along with some fine, outstanding defensive play for the O's, as he got added to the roster today. Parker's pitch, and a good breaking ball down and in. Tyler Austin has come on to play at first base. Teixeira is out. Torres is going to play at second base. Romine's going to do the catching. Oh, to the count. Parker's delivery, and that will be taken. Ref Snyder called up is in left field. Young Jr., who just came up, Eric Young Jr., will be in center field. So both teams going deep into the bench here on this day of the expanded roster. 1 ball, 2 strike count on Bourne. Michael Bourne, 33 years old, a lot of experience. Played with the Diamondbacks, acquired him in the deal, hit .261, 3 home runs, 43 runs scored, 30 RBIs, 89 games with Arizona this year. He's had over 1,300 major league games in which he's hit .266 major league average. Good speed, extra base hits along the way. Originally signed by the Phillies, 2003, in the 4th round. 2 ball, 2 strike count. Parker's delivery to him, grounded towards first base. Race to the bag, and you can see him going down the line in a hurry. Parker gets over there to cover for the out.
Yeah, Bourne, a good speed.
Well, game 2 of this weekend set's coming your way tomorrow. Kevin Gausman on the mound against CC Sabathia. Coverage on MASN, 6:30 O's Extra, presented by Southwest, with our game at 7. All the access you need right here on MASN.
We'll take a look at tomorrow's starter, CC Sabathia, looking for his 9th win of the year. He's pitched very well against the Orioles, especially here at Camden Yards. He'll take on Kevin Gausman, who's heated up, and along with Bundy, going to try to lead this team into the postseason.
Here's Ryan Flaherty pinch hitting. He is in for J.J. Hardy, who had a double, 1 for 3, and a run scored. With 1 down here in the 8th inning. Orioles really dominating here in this ball game. 8-0, out hitting the Yankees 9-2. 0-1 delivery on the way by Parker, and Flaherty will take that one for a ball. Tommy Hunter getting ready in the bullpen. Orioles came into this game, MajorLeagueBaseball.com, saying their odds of making the postseason 32%. The Yankees 5%. All those numbers change every day. They're kind of fun to look at, but really don't tell you very much. Here's the 1-1 delivery on the way, and that will be taken. So Flaherty works the count to 2-1. Buck with a relaxed presence in the dugout. Franklin Stubbs got the bat in hand.
Yeah, I think really that's why Buck Showalter's had so much success with the O's in September and October. He doesn't really give off a lot of the anxiety that a lot of managers might have here at this time of year. You know, a team kind of floundering a little bit after the All-Star break. One of the best teams in the American League East. Yet here with all the pressure on, able to keep his team loose and tries to keep them playing at a high level.
Down to first. That's going to be a base hit. It'll roll into the corner. Flaherty will make the turn. Judge having trouble finding it. And a stand-up double. Ryan Flaherty here in the 8th inning.
Always good to see. Ryan Flaherty gets an opportunity. Typically takes advantage of it. Picking up his 7th double. Always out with early work. And Coach Scott Coolbaugh, super utility player, and the bats are kind of few and far in between. Nice to see him picking up a knock there.
So tough to hit when you're not getting regular at bats and coming off the bench. The Orioles are 2 for 9 with runners in scoring position in this ball game. Here's Kim, 0 for 3. He gets the RBI chance. And we'll take the pitch inside. Parker getting a new baseball with a 1-0 count on Kim. Orioles have to win number 73 in this game. Put some distance between themselves and the Yankees in the wild card chase. Maybe gain some ground. Certainly on Toronto. They're losing their ball game at Tampa, and the Red Sox will play a ball game that'll get underway in a bit in Seattle. And that pitch is in there for a strike. And the count goes to 1-1. Starter Chad Green, only an inning and 2/3, 4 runs, 5 hits for the Yankees. Their pitcher of record. He came out with soreness in the elbow and that pitching arm. And then Goody, a couple of runs in an inning and a third. Yates, 2 runs in 2 innings. Holder, his major league debut, retired the side in order. Severino worked an inning, had 1 strikeout, and now Parker on. The Orioles' Dylan Bundy, a chance to win his 8th. No runs, 2 hits, 5 2/3. Hart worked an inning and a third with zeros. Worley worked an inning and is probably coming out with Tommy Hunter ready to come in. There's Worley standing up there with a towel around him. Two ball, 1 strike count. Kim will take that pitch in there for a strike, 2-2.
Yeah, really none of the bullpen arms overused. Probably see a few of the arms again in this series. Yates, the only one that throw a couple extra pitches as Tommy Hunter waits his turn.
That was interesting.
The split finger. The results of a good split finger. The catcher setting up down and in, and I think Kim anticipating the splitty to break actually down and in. It goes the other way. He does all he can, body and back, to try to get a piece. Nothing doing there.
Drew Stubbs will be at the top of the order. His first appearance as an Oriole. Adam Jones and a couple of hits, 2 for 4, runs scored, RBI for Adam, back in the ball game in the leadoff spot for the Orioles. Runner on at second base. There are 2 down. Oh, 1-2 away in the 8th. Orioles trying to add to that 8-0 lead. Flaherty, it's the big lead at second base. Stubbs will go after an off-speed breaking ball. Well, the numbers for Stubbs: he's 31, claimed off waivers from the Rangers, hit .259, 3 homers, 6 RBIs, 39 games, split with Texas and Atlanta this year. He's got over 880 major league games, career .244 hitter. Lots of speed, 160 career stolen bases. He was a 8th overall pick by the Cincinnati Reds in the first round of 06. Pitch, and that's going to miss up high. Speed's been the name of his game. 40 steals, 2011, a high for him, tied for second in the National League that year, and he's had 20 or more stolen bases 4 times, 4 different seasons.
Yeah, and both he and Bourne stolen base experience, and this Orioles team, not a lot of stolen bases this month. You know, 1 stolen base could be a difference. It really could.
Yeah.
So I think this is a good pickup. A couple outfielders with some speed off the bench.
You're working on, if you will, the periphery of the game. And it matters. It's not that the periphery doesn't matter, but now you're talking about what you're saying, like the extra stolen base, the outfielder who can come on and make a catch that somebody else couldn't because they weren't as fast. You're working on the margins, trying to fill those margins in games where it could make the difference, because you figure games are going to be close. Now this one isn't, but when you got these kind of matchups, you have to go in expecting a tight ball game because both teams have so much on the line.
Absolutely, yeah, definitely. And Buck Showalter, and give one of the best managers in the game another little weapon to use.
Yeah,
you know, Buck Showalter will get the most out of it.
3-ball, 2-strike count on Stubbs. Flaherty off second. Parker's delivery will be fouled back. And the count will stay 3-2. Stubbs has played a number of games versus the Yankees, hitting .262 against the Yankees. He's had one home run in the previous 13 games against New York. 3-ball, 2-strike count. Stubbs has had only 7 games played here in this ballpark, 29 at bats, hitting .241. Bourne has played in this ballpark in 14 games, hitting .250 with no home runs. 3-2, delivery again, and a swing and a miss. Parker gets the strikeout. Orioles no runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 1 left. They go to the 9th. Hunter finish it off. Masson brought to you by Southwest, transparency, low fares, nothing to hide, and by University of Maryland, University College. On this beautiful night, beginning the weekend here at the ballpark, the Orioles lead at 8-0, 3 outs away from the W against the Yankees. Orioles will be 5-2 against the Yankees here at Camden Yards this year, and overall they're going to even up the series at 7 games apiece. 3 outs away from doing that. Tommy Hunter on the mound.
Look at Tommy Hunter biding his time down in the O's bullpen until this opportunity here. Just familiar with Tommy Hunter, big fastball. Has all the weapons, all the tools. Doesn't have to use them as much coming out of the bullpen. Take a look at his stats this season: 23 games, couple wins, .418 earned run average. 19 punch outs on the year for Tommy. Opponent's hitting .264 overall.
Tyler Austin will get his first at bat. And Austin on the big cut. Steve Pearce has come on to play at first. And Ryan Flaherty, after pinch hitting, stays in for Hardy. So the Orioles held young Gary Sanchez, the catcher, 0 for 2 and a walk in the ball game. Austin will take that one for a strike. Tyler Austin came on to play at first base for Mark Teixeira. Romine is hitting in Teixeira's spot next. Tampa Bay leading 8-3 over the Blue Jays. Swung on a miss. Hunter gets a strikeout.
I'm going to throw one ball. Let me stay in there a little bit longer. 3 nasty pitches from Tommy Hunter. 2 two-seam fastballs at the bottom of the zone, a hard slider. Finish him off. Well located there.
That'll bring Romine to the plate. He'll get his first at bat. Mark Teixeira had an 0 for 2 and a walk in the game. Romine 0 for 2 lifetime against Hunter. And the pitch is there for a strike. Visit MassonSports.com/CareFirst to vote for tonight's CareFirst Fearless Player of the Game. Live fearless with a name trusted for over 75 years. CareFirst, Blue Cross and Blue Shield. 0-1 delivery. Well, the Orioles, a lot of pluses in the lineup tonight. Jones an RBI. Alvarez 2 RBIs on a home run. Couple of runs scored. Machado 33rd home run, 2 RBIs, 2 runs scored. Davis 33rd home run, 2 RBIs. Trumbo, Major League leading 41st home run at a 2 for 4. Hardy double scored. Oh, down to third, Manny Machado. Oh. Sizzling.
And blowing bubbles. Got the gold shoes going. 450. Look at the feet. That's what I love to see. Okay, this ball game, 8-0. Landed on that throwing hand the wrong way. Yeah, kind of bent it back a little bit, but it's all about getting the feet moving down on the hot corner. Manny Machado did right there. Jonathan Schoop wearing him out a little bit.
No good deed goes unpunished between those two.
Right? Keep each other humble.
Loose. Manny Machado may get to make the final one. Didi Gregorius, and that's it. 1-2-3 inning. Tommy Hunter comes on and retires him in order, and the Orioles come away with an impressive win. A 6-run, 5-hit second, couple of runs in the fourth, a 4-homer game. Dylan Bundy's 8-5, the winner. Chad Green takes the loss, 2-4 before 24,226.